So we are still waiting for the last few people to trickle in, and we are going to start soon.
You know I can't eat without you, and I can't sleep without you. Stay up all night, writing songs about you. Take me home, and I spend all my days drinking, so I don't have to spend them thinking. And I know that I won't last long this way. You got me walking 10 miles high. Step up, see if I can fly. And my best guess is too far off. And in my chest, the rhythm's gone, and all of the rest falls to the side. I sit alone in an empty house, writing notes while I'm thinking about the few folks I didn't let down.
So can we take our seats,
Walking 10
everyone?
miles high. Step up, see if I can fly. Don't care if I live or die. Don't care if I live or die. How do I work this spell?
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. So to our honored guests from the Yayasan Orthopedic, Dato Dr. Mahmud American and Datin Ragaya Yusof, our established speakers, Dato professors, our beloved lecturers, professors and doctors, the celebrated new additions to the orthopedic fraternity, and finally my brothers and sisters in arms in the audience today. And so welcome to the 5th Noceral Day 2017, and thank you for making the time to come to our humble gathering here in UM. So to those who don't know me, my name is Lutfi, and I'm currently a trainee in the Orthopedic Masters Program. I was entrusted by Prof. Tunku Sarah to become the MC for today, and with the little experience that I have, I hope I won't let the department down. So our gathering today will only be a half-day event. We'll make it short and sweet. We have 4 very established speakers from our MMed Orthopedic alumni to share some words of wisdom, especially for those who just passed their CBO exams. And later today, we will also invite all the past students to come to the stage and give their speech. So without further ado, I'd like to invite Prof. Dr. Tengku Sarah to the stage to give a welcoming speech.
Assalamualaikum. Thank you very much, Lutfi. Good morning. Salam satu Malaysia to all of you. I'd like to thank all of you for coming, all the way from honored guests, students, relatives, children, and also our new, brand new, shiny orthopedic surgeons. Give them a hand. This Noceral morning started to celebrate the completion of the Noceral building. And today the Noceral building is an everyday help in our activities, in our output, in our successes. So from the bottom of our hearts, we'd like to thank all of you who have made this possible. And I think all of you know who you are. So thank you very much. So today, we are going to celebrate the graduation of previously doctors, now to be orthopedic surgeons, and to celebrate them as individuals, as people, as fathers, as sportsmen, etc., etc., and also to bring together previous alumni, previous teachers, graduates, and all the staff, and our colleagues, and everyone who has worked, suffered failures, and enjoyed successes together. So welcome, everyone. And I think sometimes helping a patient can be like fighting a battle. You know, you are all there sweating away, and maybe several times you have to go to the operation theater, the clinics, and in the end you become more or less like comrades in arms. You come very close to the people that you're working with. So I think all of you in this room know what that battle is like. But maybe you're not familiar with the battle which is going on to push people from doctors, push some of our colleagues to become orthopedic surgeons. And that is really a battle which is fought by the people themselves, but also their families, a great deal by their families, a lot of sacrifice by spouses especially, and also all the staff, even the office staff also are in the battle, and the nurses, etc., etc. So I just want to tell every single new graduate that every drop of sweat that goes towards your success and the better treatment of your patients is so, so worth it. So congratulations and enjoy the day, everybody.
Thank you very much, Prof. So we'll start our event with our established speakers. We'll start with our next speaker will be somebody from the private practice. Is also an alumni of our MMed Orthopedic. And this next speaker whom I had the opportunity to meet with in person is a very kind-hearted man, always a very busy man. I'd like to invite Dr. Muhammad Nawa bin Arifin to come to the stage to give his talk titled Balance in the Private Practice.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning. Very nice to see old and new faces. Thank you, Lutfi, for being a very good MC. Prof. Sarah, Dato' Dr. Mahmud American, Datin, my Dato' Dr. Zamin, Mr. Robert, my other distinguished guest speakers, my teachers and colleagues, my mentors, my students, my friends, my advisors, everybody is here. Thank you very much, especially for Prof. Sarah, for inviting me to give this talk. I don't really intend to talk about a balance in private practice, to be truthful to you. But I guess this is a good entry point to a better points or more important points that I'm going to say within my talks. I hope the next 10 minutes or a little bit more, I can share something beneficial to each and every one of you. More importantly, I think these gatherings today give me an opportunity to refresh my memories. This podium is nothing foreign to me. I was giving every Wednesday morning talk about Joint Commission International and quality improvement in this hospital. About a year before I resigned from this place and joining private practice. And I have to, right before the clinical normal talks every Wednesday, Dato', I came for 5 to 10 minutes to refresh about how important of clinical reassurance and total quality improvement in the hospitals. That was memories. But anyway, purposely take this one to show that sometimes balance can be out of balance. And it is not very simple to begin with. For the next 10 minutes, what I will do is I will try to share with you a few theoretical. It might not be a textbook theoretical, though sometimes you can find a similar version in it in many textbooks. I'm sure it's not in orthopedics textbook. It could be in maybe psychological medicine or any other motivational books or something like that. But I'll share with you my versions of the reality and what I believe and how I perceive the reality so far. And I give you about my opinion and what I do. And first of all, the reason why I'm here today is because exactly 10 weeks ago, I underwent my right ACL reconstruction and lateral meniscus repair. I injured my knee during severe training with Datuk Misbah Siddiq in an elite team with Nusa Masuri badminton. Right after I left as a lecturer here, I started to learn badminton professionally. I just came back from Auckland for a World Masters game. It's something like Olympic for commoners. I can't join Olympics before, but I do discover there is a game that open for everybody, including you and I, and it happened every 4 years. Unfortunately, 6 months before the game, I ruptured my ACL completely. I can't play, though I tried my best to do it, to gain the momentum within 6 months, and I decided to go for the operation. A day before operation, I called Prof. Sarah because I was in very deep fear. Believe me, brothers and sisters and everybody, the moment you are going to do something that you used to do to other people, the fear started to strike, and that is reality. I called Prof. Sarah, I said, Prof, please, I'm in great fear, help me. Nawa, count your blessing, Nawa, blah, 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 and so the advice. And that is the main reason why, I think you should share some of the opinion, in the next Noceral talk. And that's the main reason why I'm here today. Agree to accept the invitation. Thank you again, Prof. Sarah. I hope that is the introduction. But I wanted to be very frank to you that many of the words today, many of the principles that I share today, there are many common faiths that taught me the same principle before. Never say never, Dr. Robert Penafort. Nawa, look at how you dress and how you look in front of others, Datuk Zamin. Datuk Syed Al-Sagaf. These are all teachers that put something inside me. Prof. Kwan, great teacher. That developed the blocks in my life. Many more. I can't mention all the names. But what I wanted to tell, if I mention something very familiar, you just smile and say, at least now I remember what I've taught a few years ago. And along the talk, I'm not going to challenge what your belief. This is purely my interpretation. It can go wrong. miserably sometimes, but most of the time, if you think you can take it something, then just be agree with that. And don't worry, the word ATD here stands for agree to disagree. All right? When we want to approach balance, believe me, it's very difficult. Natural tend to go for balance. A scoliosis, you have to identify which one is a primary or a secondary curve, because they try to look for a balance. In that concept, when I was looking for balance a few years back in my life, I discovered that actually I uttered the same verses 17 times a day. And that was during my prayers. As a Muslim, we have to pray 5 times a day. And during that prayers, we have to repeat Surah Al-Fatiha for 17 times. And in that Surah Al-Fatiha, there is a very short sentence actually, Ihdinas siratal mustaqim, meaning God show us the straight pathway. This is the concept of balance that I understood from the Quran. And then from there, I started to derive many more. I started to see, I travels, I look, I experience many things. I do some things that maybe you and I have not thought that an orthopedic surgeon, now I will do this. But I try to look for this concept of balance. And the best description that I can share with you is the concept that you and I are going into the airplane, at the cruising altitude. When we talk about balance, you cannot get balance in this context while you are climbing or during descent. There's no way you can get balance at climbing and descents. But the balance, the complete balance, when we can enjoy our nice meal, enjoy the nice hot tea or coffee, is when we are at the cruising altitude. So in life, in our practice, I believe that while you are still a master student, while you are still, trying to develop, to go into a certain area where you like, the concept of balance is very, very difficult for you to get. Until you have reached certain point in life where, I'm here. Yes, I have already got some allocation. I have already got some qualification to do something. Then only you will believe you can try to put things in balance. Of course, once a time there will be turbulence, but at least the concept of balance in a cruising altitude is there. Many of you know that I joined politics for the main reason that I am willing to put all my best, all my ability to the area where I can, influence many more people. In politics, you heard about the concept of wasatiyah and modernization. It's a beautiful concept, but when it comes to practice, it takes a lot of challenge because, it's very difficult to stay moderate in the events of too many extremism. Of course, this one, you heard about it, physical and spiritual. I'm not going to explore more about that. There are many models outside, but the best model or the easiest model for us to remember about balance in life, balance in private practice, balance in whatever you do, is by looking at the models of opposite. When there is a black, there must be also white, and all the shades of colors in between. And you can't really understand how your patient feels until you are your patient one day. You see, these are the concept of balance. If you can't suffer the pain, how can you appreciate your health, your comfort? These are the things that I can concentrate and focus on, especially in the concept of man and woman. But for today's talk, orthopedics point of view, many of you can share the same thing. I think the best definition I can find is actually the balance when our professional attitude, professional knowledge, professional work coexist with our personal, deep inside us. I think this is the best definition I can find if you are talking about practice in orthopedics, either here or private practice or wherever. But this is the reality. You and I know. The reality is not as simple as theoretical. We wanted to do good, but sometimes you see, you met people, you bump into others who actually don't really care. You wanted the area to be clean, but you saw other people are throwing rubbish everywhere. You wanted to do good, but you saw other people can just do a little bit more to improve everything, but you just feel frustrated, There are a few categories here. I divided into 4 categories. The first category is when you say, you adopt the first concept. Who cares about this balance? I just want to be myself. I just want to focus into me and my family. If you fall into this category of who cares, the first one, I think we belong to the group where we don't even have time to review what we are doing. We don't have time to review. Hey, look, what are you doing now? You don't have time. You don't even have opportunity, window of opportunity to see, to revise again what you are doing at this point of time. If you think, okay, who cares? I just want to do it, finish this one, done. Those who are just qualified as orthopedics, just pass a master's exam, you understand this very, very well. Correct or not? I just want to get over it, that's it. I don't have time. The other things are not, it's automatically not there. The third year coming, your turn. Ours, this is the best time. You will understand this very well. But be careful, don't adopt it in your life, in the next life, forever. Because you should bring it here. This is very bad, because you don't even have time. Things become so robotic and not original, The second group is when we care, but we are confused. Okay, now we have started to say, okay, look, I realize that I'm doing I'm not doing something, or I want to do something. But now you're confused. This group of people, they just need a little bit more of reading, input, some incidences in life that can trigger them to rethink, redirect them, or give them a better input. Now I can see a much better pathway or something like that. The next group, they are clear about what they wanted to do, but they are hopeless. They are hopeless. Now I know what I wanted to do. I want to be this one. So Mr. Malik is here. Malik is not here. Malik is the one who shared with me. Now, you be clear. You want to be a private surgeon, or you want to be lecturer in University Malaya forever? He told me right in front of this door. Right, Prof. Okay. At that time, I was aspiring to be the best teacher. I want to be the professor. I want to be here just like all my teachers here. But he said, no, you must be very clear about what you're doing. But then, when sometimes we are clear, the systems, the governments, the university, the others, are trying to block you in many ways. So you become hopeless. You can't. Then, whatever it is, all these 3, to me, is very simple. This is a very refreshing talk to me, to myself. I don't want to be trapped inside this, either system, either myself, or in the dilemma of thoughts of many. So what I'm suggesting is this. You see, this is a nice caterpillar. The function is just to eat this piece of leaf. That's it. This caterpillar doesn't need to look after their children. They don't need to give talk on Noceral invited by the, There's nothing else. They don't need to care about what. There's not so many options in life. There's not so many decisions that they need to make. It's very simple. The same thing when you are talking about a race car, an Audi R8, for example, or whatever car that you want to. People talk about effective, very reliable, very good performance. Why? Because it's just simply performing the job as a car. As simple as that. But we human beings, we can't just perform one single task. We are doing HOD job. We are doing a mother job. We are doing a patient's job. You are doing something intermittent, other jobs, and everybody expects for you to do it well. It's impossible, and I would like to draw that into this graph, if you can see. The less of your goals, you limit your goals, the more effective you are. The more you have your goals, you wanted to do this, and this, and this, and then plus some that you want to do everything excellent, what happened is your effectivity will start to reduce. So we have to reduce our goal, reduce our function, and then you're effective inside. And that, because the requirement to be perfect is all the time, people somehow came out, with a balance between life and family, professional, career, and family. This is very common. I got the balance, I started with this. But my way, 3 rows, 3 methods, very simple. Namely, I add socio-personal into the whole equation. The second, I do times over roles discrepancy, I corrected them. And then the 56 is a number, Prof. Kwan. 56 is a magic number, Prof. Kwan. I'll share with you in a minute. You know, Kwan taught me numbers. And it's wondering, why do you know spine operation sometimes? You know, it takes a lot of time. You need to focus there. But he loved to talk so many things. One of the principal talk that he taught me is actually now how important is number. Feng Shui, whatever it is. Run away from number 4, go for number 3. And 8, 6 and 8, 2, 6 and 8 combination are all very good. I started to apply that in my numbers, my house. My house number, Prof. Kwan, 18. My car number, single digit, number 3. My phone number, 013-338-3688. All those type of things, But I became more Chinese than the Chinese in this aspect. All right. This is, just bear with me, I got another 4 slides. When people talk about balanced family and career, and people are looking at this subset of balance, my proposal is you have to add on some social, personal. Because it's not just balance to being a family, and you go back home and then come back to the workplace. Go back home, come back to the workplace. Come on, man, you have to do it something else. You have more talents to do. You can be an artist, you can be a public speaker like me, you can join politics like me, you can play badminton like me, you can do whatever. You all got so many talents, not just orthopedic surgeon and a man in the family or a woman in the family. Do something else, and that something else is the element of social, personal. 50-50. What I mean by 50-50, social means you need to interact with some community, contribute something to the community. You don't just go back home and then sleep. Do something. Join your rukun tetangga, or organize some neighborhood feast or something like that. Create something lah. That's what I mean by social. Be social. At the same time, because you want to create balance, you and I, everybody got something that we are too personal to share. You want to be alone. Take your time alone. Go away. Do something that only you yourself understand why you are happy. For example, to me, I collect, I still collect those piring hitam. What is piring hitam in English? The old piring hitam, the turntables. The record turntables, the Malay songs, 1970s, 80s, Mimi Loma, yang lama-lama tu. Then I still have my running functional turntables. The moment I put my records on my turntable after I came back from work, that's it. Nobody can understand, number 1. Number 2, badminton is my life. And now I got Datuk Miss Bun Siddiq with me. Never mind, I torn my ligament, I repaired it, I come back much stronger. 4 years from now, I'm going to win gold in Kansai. That's my aim. World Masters game. I collected Lemmy pen, Prof. Kwan. Lemmy pen. I got every single colors of Lemmy Safari. I know the old model of Lemmy pen. Even the sales girl in the supermarket in Eon Big, they don't know the model as much as I know. And Mr. Lamy himself, I wrote to him, Prof. I am this collector, I got this version. He sent me a nice, beautiful pen rack, this tall. And he said, Dr. Nawa, this is the only one I give to you. Keep it well. My goodness, so these things I enjoy myself. I can't share it with you because you don't understand. It just gives me happiness. This is what I mean personal. You have to add on social personal. That's the first step. Okay? So I call this as my contentment model. When I have my family and I got my career, Chris, you asked me, are you still doing clinical work now? I saw you somewhere in TV, ucapan lah, I'm no here and there lah. I'm sorry lah, I have to choose some no. Because in politics, you have to be somewhere in power. So when I started to join politics, this is the direction. Okay, forget about it for a short while. My contentment model is like this. You divide these 3 in the term of percentage of happiness. Your percentage of happiness from your family, let's assume that you have the best family, most beautiful wife, young forever, give you so many kids, whatever, and then you have the best career, whatever it is, everybody knows you in the orthopedic fraternity. Ibrahimovic look for you, something like that. Ibrahimovic torn both ACL and PCL. and the Hong Kong surgeon who sent this in the WhatsApp group, right? So you have the best carrier. Believe me, the containment model, you can only give 30%. Prof. Ng, thank you very much. I can bend fully my leg. He's the one who operates my knee. Okay, 30% of the happiness come from family. Maximum, you cannot give 90% from family. You have, this is, when I say containment model, it has to come from the context of happiness, okay? I repeat, 30% happiness must come from family. 30% happiness must come from career. Even though you reach the best reward in career, your happiness percentage of your total happiness must be only 30%. Stick to that. Family, 30% only. Wow, so bad now. If you have a balance of complete family and career, your total mark is only 60, you know. You barely pass your total happiness contentment model. Why? Because when you add on social personal, these are another 30%, and social, you give 15%, personal, you give 30%. Total model of this you include as you can be yourself, you can be with your personal collection, you can also be a very useful person to the community, at the same time you have a beautiful family and lovely career. This is what I mean contentment model. Wait, I know you are asking, now 30 plus 30 plus 30 is only 90%. It's total mark 90, it doesn't suit, you know, this model is lousy because it's only 90%. Wait, the 10%, I leave it to certain area. For example, wife get pregnant, family ni tambah lah 40%. Only 40% only, you cannot so happy and become, you know, until you reach that up to about 60, 80%, you become imbalanced. The most balance that you can get when something happen in the family, your child graduated, for example, you are the most happy man from the family terms, 40% only, at 10%. Or then only come to career, Prof. Kwan, scoliosis, 2.5 hours, or 1.5 hours better, for example, correction from whatever level, you can only do that, very good in your career. Maximum is only add another 10%, 40%. And okay, let's say lah, suddenly this sector also give you the best happiness, maximum you add 10%. Then you become a stable person. You are not too happy, you are not too low, you are somewhere where, you know, the concept of stable from my contentment model point of view. My second last slide. All right, this previous model give you roles. Family give you roles. What are my roles? I am a son, I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm an uncle, blah, 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 blah. You write down these roles in the form of list. Career give you roles, tanggungjawab, things that you have to do. You know, head of department, lecturer, surgeon, clinical teaching, nurses teaching, whatever. Put that in the list. Mark my word, family give you a set of roles. Career give you a set of roles. If you have social personnel, for me, NGO header, blah, 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 international, regional, national level, blah, 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 blah. Personal, I am, you know, take care of my friends, I have to call this sekolah lama ke apa, whatever it is. You put that into roles. Roles. And then when you get that long list, you just go through one by one. You will not miss the roles that you are supposed to do within every compartment or segment of your life. So you can come back later, you know. You will still be a good friend of yours from the old boys' school. You can still, don't forget to actually feed your cat and bring your cat just because it started to develop caries because it's already turned 7 this year. You can still remember your old teacher, those who have started to teach you A, B, C, or simple additional mathematics. Because you go by roles, not by a big subset group. This is what I meant by correct the time defect. Because if you wait for the time for you to go back to your kampung, no way. If you want to have time for you to meet old friends, no way. You have to commit and just list your role, then do just this. And then, if possible, you maintain it, and it become a habit after you don't, without you realize, suddenly it become a habit. All right, about to finish, last one. Once you got this one correct, this is what I call the balance. And more correctly put, is actually get this balancer because everything is there. Last but not least, once you got the balancer, you have to understand this 56, as I promised. What is 56? 56 very simple. I got this from Neil Parisha, The Happiness Equation. Very beautiful book. Please, get it. Popular. Read it. Hafal it. Macam kitab Prof. Kwan. I took it because this is so important. This is the book where they prove to us, even Harvard graduates and a working teacher, they can actually get the same salary if you counted them per hour. So go by your salary, your income per hour, not per month anymore. See how much you work to get a certain amount of income and divide that, and you know how much is your price, what is your worth at per hour. And when you get per hour, you understand this is 56 concept. Because everybody got in a week 168 hours, actually. And your sleep, assumably you sleep 8 hours according to all, suggestion, good per day 8 hours, times 7, 56. Gone. Because of the sleep. Okay, you can take out a little bit lah, kacau. But you cannot take it from this bucket, everything. Then another work, assumably that you work punch card 8 hours a day, times 7, including lah, campur-campur semua, including your Sunday, 56 work. So work and sleep is already 56, 2 basket gone. You got only another basket of 56 left, 56 hours per week. Come on guys, do something else. Do something that make you happy. Do something that meaningful for everybody. Do something that you feel good of being alive. This is the 56. But the reality, don't pull the 56. You pull your sleep because you are doing this one. You pull your extra basket of 56 hours because you are doing this one too. This is the reality in life. Develop this. Empty this 56. I know Dato' said maybe this 56 is more for you, to do something else. Or leave it to you. That's how you define your 56. But what I'm trying to say, remember this 56 hours per week. Don't waste it. And of course, in order for you to do this, I can throw you one question. I don't throw this question in the early part of my presentation because I want to leave you with something to ponder, Actually, all those that I have said, it depends on one answer that you should have to this big question. Is what you really want to do with your life. That's it. Guys, newly graduated, you have to answer this very, very well. Those who have been graduated, long and new, you still have to find this answer. If you found the answer to this, that's it. I can see those satisfied faces here who has found the answer. And maybe they have found many answers, There's one book actually, the name of The Answer. The book is The Answer. They're actually written by both husband and wife, Alan and Barbara Peace. Very good. And they show you when you have the answer to this question, you know exactly what you wanted to do in your life. Then it gives you a sense of direction. After you set the direction, you can set priority. I know that I'm going back to Ipoh. And then you ask me to go for a cup of coffee. Robert called me, Nawah, lama tak minum coffee, come to Damansara lah. I'm okay, because Damansara and plus highway to Ipoh is not very far, you see. But suddenly, Prof. Razif, you are somewhere in Sungai Besi, Nawah, you makan laksa Sungai Besi, alamak. Because the sense of direction will decide you what to do, everything that you wanted to do in life. When you know your direction. It gives you priority, it gives you a sense of time, and of course, when you know your direction, it's not about the destination anymore, it's about the journey that you take. You can stop at Tapa, nak makan Pak Tam punya roti pun tak apa, because you know that you're heading to Ipoh anyway. You're not. If somebody give me a free bus ticket to Johor Bahru, I say, forget it, man. I'm going to Ipoh, because my direction is towards this one. Once you find this answer, and that will give rise, I'll leave you, my last word is, in this book they summarize, if you can imagine it, you have it in you to do it. And with that, I thank you very much for this opportunity.
Very inspiring speech, Dr. Nawah. You could see Rusdi was taking notes. He's eyeing private practice, I think. So the next speaker, I would like to invite our next speaker, who has always been heavily involved in teaching. So I met him once during a basic science exam. And, oh yeah, before that, if I forgot. can we have Prof. Sarah to give a souvenir to Dr. Nawa before we proceed to our next speaker? So I'm pleased to invite our next speaker, the always impressive Dr. Robert Penafort, to give his talk titled Barefoot Phenomenon, a Passing Fad.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Prof. Sarah, for the invitation. I thought it'd just be some junior students. Now I saw the crowd here, all the senior lecturers and professors. I'm getting cold feet and tak boleh bohong already. So I was asked to speak on barefoot running. It all started because we were running this course in Penang, and I was speaking about flat feet. And the more I read about flat feet, the more I realized that it's important that children are allowed to run barefoot and develop the muscles in their feet. And so Prof. Halim from UKM asked me to speak at the last MOA, and Prof. Sarah, she missed that lecture. She went jalan-jalan during the MOA. And so she said, since I missed it, I think you better come and present it again. So that's why I'm here. Running in history, initially it was for locomotion. Humans used to run to move from one place to the other. The hunter-gatherers just survived on their feet. They didn't know how to tame the animals to use for locomotion. There were no machines, nothing. But as time passed, over the millions of years, it's become as part of a recreation. And it's interesting to note that in the animal kingdom, it's only humans, horses, and dogs that actually can run, do endurance running. That means run in fact, for days. Humans are capable of running for days if you train yourself. It's becoming a global epidemic, running. Everywhere around the world, people are just running. Every single day, people are running. During the weekends, you're talking about the millions globally, even locally in Malaysia. This is I don't know whether you can see the numbers. This is tomorrow morning, 6th of May. There are 20 runs going on in Klang Valley and around. And these are the ones that are registered. There are also runs in schools, in associations, even hospitals are organizing runs. And people are just, you'll be amazed. You go I run, I have to wake up at 4 o'clock, make sure I have a little bit of breakfast, and then drive some crazy place far away, pay $100 or $80 and toll, park far away. And then you'll see thousands of people just running, just standing there at the queue waiting for the bell to go off, and then we'll just run. It's almost like zombies, quietly moving at 5 o'clock in the morning in the road. It's impossible to explain it. This is incidentally the 104-year-old marathon runner. He supposedly has the records for the fastest marathon in the world. The Americans, they study everything. They have documentation, they have numbers for everything, so they study. So why is it that they found that the boom in running, it took 3 times in the US history. One was during the Great Depression. Then it was in the 1970s. In 1970s, they had the Vietnam War, the Cold War, race riots, and they had a criminal president. Maybe in Malaysia now more people are running for... I didn't say anything. And after 9/11, there was a spurt of trail running. There was this great boom of trail running. And in America, every year, 3 to 6 million people run. And that number is just growing and growing. It becomes almost epidemic. Among the primates, humans are the only one that's capable of endurance running. So I've established one fact, that humans run, and humans are capable of running. In fact, most of us, don't run. I never ran until I was 54 years old. I was, I wouldn't say obese, but I wasn't slim. I was unhealthy. I couldn't even play half a game of badminton, unlike Nawa, who aims for... I remember once playing with him, and after about 2 points, I sat down, panted, and gave up. I never went and played with him again. Humans ran barefoot for millions of years. There was no such thing as footwear. And so basically our foot is capable of running barefoot. The first archaeological evidence of anything that resembles footwear was discovered 40,000 years ago. And that was minimalist footwear. That means some thin form of rubber or whatever thing they could find, or even a bark of a tree that they used to tie it to their foot and run using that. Cushioned heels, arch support, toe springs, everything that Nike presents all over the world in their very, very fancy adverts, mostly in the 1970s during the second spurt of running in the US. Of course, everything is, if you run, you will have pain. There's no doubt about it. You ask any runner and he will tell you he's either knee pain or hip pain or buttock pain or gluteal pain, whatever it is, you ask a runner, he will tell you yes. At some point of time, he has pain, or sometimes after every run, some of them have pain. So in spite of the most sophisticated types of shoes that are available, 70 to 80% of runners, professional runners, podium finishers, or just the weekend warrior will have some form of pain. That's my belief. So there are a lot of reasons for pain. I won't bore you with the scientific facts about it. It could be because of your increased pronation, increased Q angle, because of your flat feet, because of your high arched foot. Each one of these will give you pain if you run a lot, especially if you do endurance running. So this coincided with the surge in research, so-called research. And all this research, incidentally, is done by shoe manufacturers. And they come up with all sorts of sophisticated shoes. And over the years, you can see how Nike has come up with things that look so attractive that you go to the shoe store today, just the look, the beauty of the shoe. It's red, black, blue, gold rim, white rim, cushions, and the science, so-called science behind it that they tell you about is so attractive that you're willing to cough out hundreds, 200. People will come and tell them, I want to buy the most expensive type of shoes. So all these things that were presented to the public, there's no evidence whatsoever. Everything we do, we talk about evidence. What's the evidence? When I tell people about barefoot, they say, what's the evidence? But is there any evidence on the shoe that you're wearing? No, there is no evidence on it. Did this reduce injuries? No. You ask any runner today that runs professionally 30, 40 kilometers a week, they will tell you that there's no difference in the incidence of injuries to the foot. So I looked it up. I checked it on ProQuest. Maybe there is some research done, and I found that there was no results when you correlate all these cushion shoes, so-called special shoes, footwear, etc., and running injuries. You find that there's absolutely no science behind it. So why is it? Why is it that we are willing to spend a lot of money? Because it's a 2.5 trillion USD sportswear, including all the so-called watches and whatever else that we buy. It's a 2.5 trillion US dollar industry per year, and it's just as successful as the marketing is just as successful as smoking. So a turning point in this development was a publication of course there were pockets of people who were running barefoot, but this was a major turning point when Nature published in their a cover article looking at barefoot running, and they discussed the kinematics and the kinetics of people who ran, and there were lots and lots of studies that occurred after this. There was also this author by the name of Christopher McDougall, who traveled to the Copper Canyon in Mexico and studied there's a community called the Tarahumara, who ran barefoot. And these people were capable of running hundreds and hundreds of miles barefoot without any problems. And these were quiet people who lived in the remote mountains. And occasionally, some of them would sneak into the United States of America and attend marathons. And when they attend it, they will automatically they will be placed first, second, third. They will collect the money and go back and they won't come for another race for a year or two. So you don't see them on podium finishers in the Olympics or anything because they are very quiet, private people. And you can see the footwear that they, I don't know whether you can see it up there. It's a very minimalist shoe. Basically, they used the rubber tires and they use leather straps and just tie that. So it's just a thin sliver of protection for the feet. In 1960, most of the African runners, the Kenyans, they used to run barefoot at home. They didn't have expensive Nike shoes, nor did they have TV adverts that encouraged that. And he won the gold running barefoot. If you remember Zola Butt, who was a South African who later migrated to the UK, she also holds the gold medal, holds the world record for the 3,000 meter and she also won the 5,000 meter gold medal in the Olympics, and she ran barefoot. So is barefoot running safe? Is it a recent fad? So I researched it. Now, is there science behind it? So if you just Google it, you will find there are 4 million articles about it, 4 million hits about it. So there, of course, a lot of it is, again, commercial driven. So being people of science background, I searched it in ProQuest, 3,568, as opposed to 0 on the very expensive Nike and Adidas shoes that you use. This Journal of Sports Health Science, maybe you probably never heard of it, but dedicated a whole issue on barefoot running. And I won't bore you with the details about it, but basically you find that if you wear shoes, normal shoes, you tend to heel strike. And if you heel strike, there's a lot of vertical loading and you develop all the problems associated with running because of this heel strike. Whereas if you run barefoot, the somatosensory receptors from the foot will basically tell you to run more gently. And if you're going to run 50 kilometers or 21 kilometers, you want to run gently. You want to hit the ground gently. And if you try this tomorrow yourself, take your shoes off, go to a stadium where they've got a good AstroTurf or whatever, what do you call it, synthetic track, and you know it's clean, just automatically you will start running gently because you don't have an artificial sole or cushioning to protect your feet. So I just show you one or two of these articles. With this one, they looked at 31 endurance runners, and it found that they actually changed their foot pattern when you allowed them to run. The effect of minimalist shoes on the arch structure, greater demands on we know there are those 4 layers of muscles. You learn that in year 1 and you learn that when you're doing the masters. And these muscles are actually strengthened if you start running barefoot as opposed to tying them up in expensive shoes. This was a study done by Benjamin Joseph, whom we all know very well, who looked at 2,000, he was actually looking at flat feet. And he studied this in a rural school, 2,300 children. And they found that in a rural part of India, where many of the children actually come to school barefoot, in fact, in some parts of India, they still do, he found that the incidence of flat feet among those who did not have shoes was very, very significantly less. So today we're reproving that, the fact that if you run barefoot, if you walk barefoot, you encourage more activity barefoot, you will actually develop the muscles of your foot and you will have some semblance of an arch if you are initially flat-footed. I won't bore you with too much of this. So is barefoot the way to go? Perhaps for us who from the time we've come out of the womb, our parents, actually this generation of parents, would already find the cutest little shoe and put it on. On day 2 of life, you go and visit someone who has got a baby, you'll see a tiny, nice little shoe there on. And from that point of life, you know how your grandparents won't let your children run outside without shoes. In actual fact, you did it. So we are so protective of it that the children don't get an opportunity to feel hot tarmac, or they get no injuries on the foot, and basically the development of the muscles is impeded. I see countless numbers of children in my clinic, parents, the baby is just starting to walk, and the parents come in and say, oh, my child has got flat feet. What do you do? So I have to spend a 10-minute lecture on barefoot running, and some of them believe me. The others go to Foot Solutions and pay 3,000 for special foot shoes, which they have to change every 4 months. So maybe because our feet, our soles of our feet are so tender, we may probably need some form of protection. There is a solution to that. It's called minimalist footwear. So this community in the Copper Canyon, they actually use the so-called minimalist footwear. But now big manufacturers have gone into it, and they have actually produced minimalist footwear. And minimalist footwear is light, it's flexible, it's got a white toe box, there's no special heel, there's no arch support. It's basically when you run with a minimalist shoe, you'd feel as if you're running on the ground, except that you won't come home and find a glass piece or anything in your foot. So it protects the sole of your foot. I won't show you, I think I won't bore you with these details, but every study that they have done comparing minimalist footwear and barefoot and running, special shoes running, you found that every parameter actually improves. Over a period of time, the muscles improve, your arch improves, and the incidence of pain also decreases with time. So basically, to summarize, we know that humans, we are born to run barefoot. Shoes have got no scientific evidence at all. Barefoot running is gaining popularity. It's not just about running, it's about all the traditional martial arts that you know of, all the traditional dance forms in every culture across the world. It's done barefoot. These Bharatanatyam dancers who dance for 45 minutes, jumping, running, jumping, tiptoeing, everything. There's no footwear whatsoever. Taekwondo, Jiu-Jitsu, Karate, you just look at any martial arts from the East, everything is done barefoot. The ballet dancers who train for 8 hours a day, no shoes on their feet. So what's the solution? Throw everything away? There's this Goldilocks phenomena where you pick the right thing, what suits you. It'll be nonsensical to tell you all to go and throw your shoes away and try. And next week you'll see the foot and ankle clinic is full of troubled people. So perhaps you got to find a balance, go and try something out, buy a minimalist shoe, try a little bit of running, if at all you run, try a little bit of running around the neighborhood. And you will have time, you will develop pain initially, but over a period of time you'll find that pain actually gets less and less, and after a while you just fall in love with those shoes. This is incidentally Bruce Lee's shoes, and on exhibition you can see that's also a minimalist shoe. So this is what I tell the parents of the children who come to my clinic, that encourage your child to run and play barefoot. Of course, it's difficult when they go out, but I tell whatever it is, don't buy that $400 shoe for your kids. So that's proof of me, because Prof. Sarah asked me, Robert, do you really use barefoot shoes, sir? So that's proof when I did a 12-kilometer race long time ago, and those are minimalist shoes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Penafort. Can we have Prof. Azura to give away a souvenir to Dr. Penafort? Yeah. Dr. Penafort, can we have you on the stage to receive the souvenirs? Thank you. So maybe this evening we can try running barefooted. But if you have DFU, maybe you have to think twice. So our next speaker, he doesn't require any long introduction. He's very dear to our heart. He's always been a great teacher to our current batches and to many batches to come. I'm pleased to invite Prof. Kwan Mun Kyong to give his talk titled RM10, My Legacy.
Thank you very much. First of all, Dato, American and Latin. Good morning. It's always a great pleasure to be here. All right, and when you come out to speak, you must mention and take this opportunity to thank your teacher. Here, thanks Prof. Sarah. Prof. Azad is up there, he just left. Prof. Azahar, Dr. Penafort, Dr. Zamin, okay, they've been my very great teacher, and I learned a lot from them. So it's a great pleasure to share with you my talk today, to see the other side of me. So this is the common question a student asked me. Prof, may I know what your hobby? You've been operating all day and night. And this is my answer. So a lot of them are shocked because the answer is money. And I'm very, very frank, okay? But today I'm going to explain to you, all right, why my answer is money. So the title of my talk is the 10 ringgit and my legacy. So let me share with you a story first to begin with. A story about a very special 10 ringgits. These 10 ringgits, all right, have been used in the early Malaysia days. And he bear a signature of our late Tun Ismail. I'm very sure that, you may not know this person, but he's a great man, all right? And he actually was the first governor of Malaysia who signed the Malaysia money. And since then, Tan Sri Aziz came in, Jafar came in, followed by Ahmad Don, and then Hassan for a very short period of time, and no doubt, Tan Sri Jeti, which just retired last year. So, what's so special about this, the 10 ringgit? Before we understand how special this piece of money, we have to understand that during the governance of Tan Sri Ismail, there are many 10 ringgit that have been printed from a series from A1, number 1, to F50, 1 million. So there are a total of 550 million pieces of 10 ringgit have been printed during that time. So if you have one of these nowadays, actually it's quite rare. Not really. It's very common. I'm sure that you go back and ask your dad will bring out some of it. But to have one piece of this, not used, perfect, minted, is quite rare. All right? Because those days, people are poor, and most of the money have been used, all right? Okay? And we do not intend to keep them. But to have one piece of this is rare. Why? Because there's only 550 pieces are printed. And this is called solid numbers. And those days, being poor, everyone will bring out all their money. They don't really look at the numbers at all. But now looking backward, no doubt, you say, I should have kept it because such a special piece of money with all the solid numbers. So the 10 ringgit was born in 1980s, all right, in England. It was printed by Thomas D. Lagu. And the 10 ringgit was shifted to Malaysia in late 70s. And in Kuala Lumpur, the 10 ringgit was further dispatched to Johor. This piece of the 10 ringgit was used in public circulation for approximately 3 to 4 years. It means that for all of us here, all right, the senior one, you may have chance actually come to your pocket and you use it without knowing. How do we know that it was in circulation for 4 years, 3 to 4 years? Is by analyzing, all right, the ages of this piece of money, all right, and see the degeneration occur, and then project the usage year for this piece of the 10 ringgit. However, it was discovered by a Johorian in the mid-90s. And since then, the 10 ringgit was kept by him approximately 30 years. And the 10 ringgit volatility came out. We suspect that it's from their children who sold all his collection to a money changer for a face value. And the moment this collection came out, there are a lot of them. For a normal people, it just looked like something interesting, old money. But within this batch of collection, there is only one piece that matters to a special group of people. And these pieces are immediately locked by a buyer. It was spotted among hundreds of them and immediately locked by a buyer. And this is a piece. What's so special about this piece? It carries the 1 million number. No, it's not the 1 million number that makes this piece special. It is F50. It's the last piece of $10 that's signed by our first governor of Bank Negara Malaysia. And it's one and the only last piece, all right, in the Malaysia 10 ringgit history. So therefore, the question you ask is, how about this piece? Forget about it. It's locked in the archive deep inside Bank Negara Malaysia. And there's a lot of story about this piece itself. It was not belong to Bank Negara. It was luckily being bought back from an open auction by CIMB Bank CEO and donate to our Bank Negara. I won't go to that. So what's so special about this group of people? They call themselves numismatists. And now I'm going to share to you what is numismatic. So it's the study or collecting coins, paper money, medals, and all related. So my interest is on collecting this paper money. Malaysia? No. My interest is pre-Malaysia. And my subspecialty is on straight settlement. So, who stimulated my interest? Who is the great teacher behind me? Fortunately, it's my dad. And since very young, my dad have taught me a lot of things. That summarize it, among thousands of them, there are 3 things that I learned. First, by the way, my dad liked to wear white shirt. Okay, so a lot of them ask me why I wear white shirt. Because you follow your dad. Okay, you don't change the rules that have been set. So the first thing he said, you need to be very honest. Why? Honesty is the first chapter in the book of wisdom. You are not honest, wisdom will not open. Oh, I'm sorry, I accidentally put up this slide. Okay. Second, my dad said, you must live the moment. You must appreciate every moment. Every coffee that you have with your friends, with your student, with your teacher. You get me now? You have to appreciate. And you live the moment. It's not the time that's important. It's the moment that counts. So, I'm very sure they ask, how can my dad have such a philosophical background, all right, of living the moment? The reason is because, all right, he said, don't ponder the past or fret the future. Live the moment. Reason being, this is the CT scan of his lung at the age of 40 years old. He had very bad tuberculosis those days, and being a liberal, so what happened is they're exposed to all this infection, and half of his lung, or right side lung, is gone. And then, on and off, he will have hemoptysis. And then, you know, every time it happened, he thought that he's going to pass away. So, the third thing that he taught me is the hobby. So, since young, I've been told about how beautiful a Malaya and British Borneo money are. Who is Queen Elizabeth? Who is his husband, which is discussed with Prof. Sarah just now? All right? When she became a queen, and so on and so forth. Just from a piece of money. Then he graduated me to the next level. Who is Queen Elizabeth's father? King George VI. What is his relation with his brother? What happened to his brother? Okay? Through a piece of money. And later, he graduated me further to King George VI's father, King George V. Who is he? What he have done? And so on, so forth. And from this, I begin to appreciate history, and I begin to, get myself into this special hobby. And these are the 1916 Straits Settlement 5 ringgit. Can you imagine this? How big in terms of value is this 5 ringgit 101 years ago in Malaysia? This is 1924, 10 ringgits. And each piece is associated with an event that happened in Straits Settlement during that time. And this is the largest denomination in the public circulation in 1916. And through all this piece of paper, you actually practically can relate back to the history at that moment. So we mustn't neglect history, because history is very important. So to those who think that this is something new, you'll be surprised that, is there a formal society that governs this? The answer is yes. The society already formed, even earlier than MOA, I think. Okay, in 1968. Do you have any reference book? I'm surprised that there are many of them. There are world reference books, there are Malaysian reference books, and there's so many of them being published. So in numismatic, a form of hobby? Obviously, yes. Okay, you see how they smile looking at a piece of $1,000? All right, the smile is even better than an orthopedic surgeon looking at the x-rays. All right? Okay, so can you perform research and publish? All right? This is a good side of being a collector. All right? The good side. And this is what we are very into it. You actually can perform a lot of research, and you perform publication on this aspect. That's why I'm trying to encourage Chris, all right? So, why so special about looking at a piece of money? You can actually look at how beautiful the design within the money. When you look at a piece of money, you thought it's just a pure piece of money. No, it's the art of making it. Every print that you're looking at actually consists of 20 printing before that. Let me show you the print that happened in the $1 in 1986. This is how that, you need to print 20 times in order to get one piece of $1. So what are we looking at? Is looking at the minute printing that occur, all right, in the piece of money. And therefore, you can publish in the international as well as local journals, all right? And bear in mind, the journals even earlier than JBJS, okay? So, are there conferences to attend? Yes, there are many of them, just like what Robert have said. Okay, instead, that at this point in time, there are some small conferences happen somewhere in Malaysia and in the world. Is this hobby a form of investment? That comes the dark side of it. The answer is obviously yes. And research have shown that rare collection certainly perform better than property, certainly perform than any gold and any shares you can think of in the world. All right, and please bear in mind, rare collection. So in order to determine the price of this collection, generally determined by two important factors, rarity and the quality. Rarity is more important than quality. All right, example. I give example. The best example is the Roman coins. Roman coins have a lot of history in it. But because it's so common means you practically can find everywhere. Every day someone will dig out a bucket of Roman coins, in Europe. So therefore, despite a beautiful, rich history, but yet a single Roman coin is only worth 5 ringgits. So rarity was actually classified according to 5 stages. Orthopedic surgeon, we are very good at it. All right. The unique one, it means that only one piece in the world. All right. These are something, if you can keep it and just pass it down from generation to generation. It can be from S, or extremely rare, or very rare, or rare. All right. So the investment grade usually belong to 1, 2, and 3. So example of unique piece. The first piece of 10 ringgit certainly is a unique piece. It's a Malaysia history, and it's not supposed to belong to collector. It's supposed to belong to museum, all right? Okay? The country. So how the continuous note being graded? They are graded according to 1 to 5. Generally, they score it from 0 to 70. 70 being perfect, 0 means you're in trouble. So when you're being used, all right, by just looking at the note, the expert will tell you the number, all right? So if you are 66 means that you're very good, all right, because nobody gets full marks. You're 40 mean, one look at it, I will tell you this for 35 or 40. You're 50 mean, that's how you look like. So if you go back home and you found a piece of the 15 with the $10 like this, then the value is equivalent to face value. So what are the categories that we're looking into? Generally, the first categories is historical. If the piece of notes carry a rich history and is rare, then certainly it fetch a very, very unique price. This is $1941, all right? And at this point, based on the database, there's only 32 pieces exist, all right? So therefore, it fetch a very high market value. And whoever interested, Google and found out the history behind this piece of notes. It's beautiful. They are proof, means that before you print it, okay, they have to make a proof for the government to approve. This is an example of proof. Some people just specialize in proof collection. There are color trial. Whoever here who are in 1980s, you know that the $1 shouldn't be red in color. That's it, right? All right? It should be in blue in color. This is one of the color trial, all right? So some people actually collect color trial. This is a color trial for $2. We suppose in blue again. There are some people collecting specimen, all right, before they kept by the original printer. Some people collect specimen, all right, for each batch. Some of them collect solid number, mean that same number, all right, which I have mentioned earlier, very rare. And some even collect super solid, means that you can see that even the serial number is 9. Okay, that make it very, very rare. Some people collect replacement note, means that some notes was printed wrongly and they replace them. So any piece of money in your pocket now start with Z, you have to be very careful. They're worth more than the face value. And some actually collect error notes. This is one of the news that came out in Stars, that someone actually refraud 20 pieces of $50 and found one piece of $50 is actually fake, error. And he actually exchanged the piece of error notes with face value from the bank, all right? So At this market price, this piece of so-called error note will fetch up to approximately 10,000 ringgit. Okay, 10,000 ringgit. All right. So the dark force, so you have to mention money, money, money. So one of the most expensive trade settlement notes so far in the history is this piece of notes, which actually was sold 10 years ago for 1 million ringgit. One of the most expensive Malaysian note is these 6 pieces of the first piece of Tun Ismail money was sold 10 years ago for 800,000 ringgit. So some of the breaking news, just 2 weeks ago, the first piece of our new governor, 50 ringgit, carry the number of LS with all solid 8, was sold at 18 ringgit in an auction. 18,000, yes, 18,000. So conclusion, numismatic is a study of coin, paper money, and medals. It's a very interesting hobby. And no doubt, those rare notes carry a great investment value. I thank my dad for leaving his legacy to me by introducing me this very interesting hobby. That I hope to pass this legacy to my next generation. All right. Okay, and hopefully they won't send all of them to a money changer. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prof. Now can we have Prof. Chris, would you mind handing over the souvenir to Prof. Kwan? Thank you very much. Prof. Kwan never fails to teach us something new every day. So our next speaker, so we saved the best for last, and our next speaker definitely one worth waiting for. So he doesn't require any introduction, and I think everyone in the hall knows him. I had the privilege of working with him, and he is one of the reasons why I am standing here, where I am now. I'm very pleased to invite our next speaker, Yang Berbahagia Datuk Dr. Haji Zamin Zuki bin Tan Sri Datuk Haji Muhammad Zuki, to give his talk titled Magic with Carpets.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, salam satu Malaysia. Tuan Pengerusi yang dihormati, izinkan saya berbahasa Inggeris. Ladies and gentlemen, my friends, Honorable Datuk Mahmud Marikan, Datin, my teachers, Professor Datuk Tunku Sarah, Professor Razif. I think I see still Professor Syed Latif, Datuk Syed Latif Assagoff there. Are you there? Yeah, that's right. So also a lot of my colleagues are here, but I'd like to thank Professor Tunku Sarah for inviting me here on this special occasion, because this is a magic moment in life. Not too long ago, I was here in 1984 as an undergraduate entering the doors of University Malaya. And I enjoyed the teaching. The late Tan Sri T.J. Janaraj was my teacher. So was the late Professor Subra. As an undergraduate, we enjoyed so much privilege here in this, ivory tower. And I went on actually to decide that I want to do orthopedic surgery after dabbling with a lot of things. And today I'm here because of my teacher inviting me to come back. Thank you, Professor Tunku Sarah, for inviting me, and thank you for teaching me. And thank you for tolerating me for all those years as an undergraduate and as a postgraduate. So I'd like to dedicate my talk here today to the soldiers who have passed the Masters in Orthopedic Surgery in Malaya. I salute you, and I give you a standing ovation because I'm clapping and standing at the same time. Now, standing here after, such giants like Prof. Kwan, Prof. Robert, Prof. Nawa, it's going to be a very difficult game to compete with, especially when you talk with all these academic, icons. All of them share one major similarity. They all are lecturers or former lecturers of University of Malaya. And so I'm the odd one out. Do you see that? But I also notice Prof. Sarah chose one Malay from UMNO, one MIC, one MCA, or Gerakan, or I don't know, DAP, I don't know, got no idea. And then suddenly I'm the odd one out also because I'm neither 100% Malay or 100% Chinese. I'm a mixture. So actually, thank you, Prof. Sarah, and your wisdom. You chose me to be last. Okay, because I'm going to talk about something which is a mixture of life balance. It's a mixture about running all over the world, but not barefoot. And it's a mixture about value which I got from my late father, and something which is almost similar to numismatic, except that you don't have to keep it in your pocket. Okay, so today I'm going to share with you something, hopefully in the next 10 minutes, maybe in the next 15 minutes, and hopefully not in half an hour, because I'm the only one that lies between you and the tea break. But something that will definitely make you go back to your home and look at the floor and tell yourself, do you really have a masterpiece? So what I want to start with is that in everything in life, you have to have passion, and this is for the young graduates, and suddenly you will realize this passion will move you on to the next level, to your talent, okay? So I have to use this one. Moving is left, right. Okay. So this is my first slide, and it's actually not magic with carpets. It's supposed to be, how about your magic with carpets? Okay, so at the end of this, you will see something happening right in front here. That's why we have tables. And I urge you to come and feel for yourself. Okay, I thought I could feel the 10 ringgit note from Prof. Kwan, but maybe later I'll check his wallet. Okay, so Prof. Kwan, better watch your back when you're walking at night. Don't carry that 10 ringgit note. It's very, very valuable. So, ladies and gentlemen, my magic of carpets started more than 30 over years ago when I got interested because I saw my mom and dad buying these things, putting it on the floor, and then when I want to spill a bit of my milk or kopi, they get very upset. Why are you spilling this on the carpet and all that? And I didn't know the value. And everything in life, there is a relative value. Ladies and gentlemen, on the screen before you, you see certain rare icons. Many of you will have seen this before if you visit, the Louvre Museum. Now, the one on the upper left-hand corner is actually Chinese, very rare rhinoceros cups. Okay, this was made during the Tang Dynasty, and I think they are worth now. Guess how much one cup is worth? Okay, anybody? Carol, how much is one cup worth? Yes, that's right. It's around 1 million. One cup, that's right, 1.5. Probably you went through my slides, huh? Okay. Okay, on the left lower hand corner, you see the iconic watch that their tagline is, you don't really own it, but you keep it for the next generation. So like Prof. I agree with you, you need to pass down your note to your son or your daughter and make sure they don't depart with it to another person. It must be kept in your family heirloom. So that's a Patek Philippe, huh? And it's a very expensive Patek Philippe. So let's ask Lutfi, how much do you think it's worth? The left lower hand, Patek Philippe. No, it's not. It's worth 10 million US dollars, Okay, and then you have another Patek Philippe caliber 89, and this one is quite a recent model. It's a sports model, but it is unique. It's not rare or RR or double R, and this one is made, okay, for some tycoon, and the tycoon is the only one wearing this. Of course, you won't part with it now. Okay, so this Patek Philippe caliber is a property, it's in a private collection, is worth almost 12 million US dollars. But let's come to the icing on the cake. Okay? Leonardo da Vinci painted this many hundreds of years ago, and it's not in his collection, neither is it in his home country, but it's in somewhere in France. And if you go to the Louvre Museum, you must go and view this, because this is really iconic. You can't touch it, you can't hold it. It was insured for US 100 million in 1963. Guess how much it's insured last year? Let's just ask Robert, how much is it worth last year, the insurance? Of course, nobody's going to steal it. Yeah, it's almost worth 1 billion. You're right, Robert. Okay, it's almost worth 1 billion. But this is, I think, a wealth of humanity, the Mona Lisa, because, you know, I don't think anybody will really take it and buy it and put it in their house and all that. You need to be really, really rich. Now, art is worth quite a lot. Exactly. You can see those very expensive art is bought by Japanese industrialists, Mitsubishi, Sumitomo, all the big banks. They buy the art in auction houses and they keep it in safes, you know, in Tokyo, in Yokohama, and all that, and then they lock it down. You'll never see it again. Okay, so this is what I call relative value. And like Prof. Kwan just now said, some really, really rare notes can be worth quite a bit. Okay? But today, I'm going to tell you, this is also a work of art. And most of the time, we don't know. We just put it underneath our feet, and the dining table, we're sitting on it, we walk on it. Okay, do you know how much value that this carpet has? Okay, but of course, it's hung on the wall now. Okay, let's take a guess from DJK. How much do you think it's worth? Take a guess. Because this is also a, $500,000. Okay, this is in Sotheby's auction. You know Sotheby's, the auction house. And this is a work of art. It's also very rare. It's a Tabriz carpet from Tabrizi, northwestern Persia. And the estimated value is 30 to 50,000. Okay? So this is US dollar. And this carpet, you can walk on it. Now, how about this carpet? What do you think the value of this carpet is? Okay? I don't think you have any idea that you might be walking on a treasure. So this was recently auctioned, and it's a Sabir Mashhad carpet from Northeast Persia, second quarter, 20th century. That means it's the last century. And it's $269,000. Okay? Now, in Malaysia, do we have this type of carpets? Yes. You just go down the road in Bangsa, then Nasim carpets you'll get. But do you actually know what you're buying? That's the danger. Or could you be buying a fake? Okay? Now, the world's most expensive carpet, and this is why the carpet prices have now gone through the roof. Okay? Now, not too long ago, I think maybe a few years ago, I went with Prof. Azlina to Delhi. I don't know what year was that, I forgot, but that's the time the carpet price was slowly boiling, you know. And I was telling myself, I need to buy the carpets in India. Because in New Delhi, they got a lot of carpet shops. And the carpets are so cheap there, they probably don't know the value. But of course, some are fake. Okay, they say made here, made there, but actually probably made in China. So what I did was, I used my talent, okay, so that I could invest in this. And I bought quite a bit. But after that, the carpet price went through the roof. Same like the price of gold and the price of expensive watches, all went up through the roof. And the most expensive carpet in the world currently, auctioned in Sotheby's. Maybe Yang Bahagia Datuk Mahmud, you would like to take a chance to guess with your esteemed experience. 1 million US. Ladies and gentlemen, never let anybody walk on this carpet, okay? Never let anybody walk on this carpet because it is worth, how much was it? 34 million, okay? Auction in Sotheby's, New York City to a private buyer, June 5th. And I think this was the time I was visiting India. And that's the time I realized, oh, I got to buy the carpets. But you don't have to buy very rare carpets, ladies and gentlemen. You just buy carpets of very high quality from exclusive makers which only come from one region. I'll show you in a short while. How do you tell? Now, we are all scientific people, and today, hopefully I can share with you my passion on how to become a sleuth, or maybe a person who has a keen eagle eye for a carpet. Now, you don't really need to be a super expert. What you need to do is look for certain things, okay? Now, this is my own mnemonics. I learned all these mnemonics when I was in University Malaya, okay? In UM, like external carotid, you got students and lecturers, old people, sampai mati and all that. Okay, so that's external carotid. I learned all these things here. So in life, what I did is I just reflected and I told myself, okay, what's the value of art? First, the C is the condition. Look at the condition. Okay? Then after that, look at what is really the rarity. Okay? And then the authenticity, and what is the provenance. The provenance is basically like it's a deep word about what you can reflect on from the history of it. And then the other second part, the red part, is on the subject matter itself, and then the historical importance, and what is the indigenous material used. Now, let me tell you, I'm not going to talk anything about polyester carpets. So I don't apologize for it also. You'll see on the map, that is not on the map at all later. So those of you who buy polyester carpets, I hope to transform you slowly. Yeah? A polyester carpet, you buy it for maybe, I don't know how much is the price, I don't know, but when you bring it back to your house, the price goes down. Okay, keeps on going down, and probably you'll throw it out into the tong sampah. Okay, but the carpets which I'm going to reveal to you today, you bring it back to your house, the price keeps on going up and up and up. Even you walk on it, so it keeps on going up. And even you bring it back to the person who sold you the carpet, the person will pay you even a higher price. Okay? So if you follow me to some of the carpet purveyors or sellers, and they're all Pakistans, Indians, and even some Bangladeshis, they sell it to you. You have to ask them this: I want a certificate. Can I sell it back to you at a higher price? If they say yes, you can, then buy it. If they say can't, better don't buy it. Okay? And then finally is the trend. So remember this, crab and toot. Okay, that's the thing to remember, because carpet trends keep on changing. Okay, this is my own mnemonics lah. So if you use it, please, please give me credit. Okay. Size matters, but bigger is not always better. So ladies, let me take you on a ride with my magic carpet, and let's get excited a bit, okay? So first is, you want to look for hand-woven masterpieces, okay? Now, not many people realize, in Malaysia, we have a very small cottage industry. It's not big, but they are masterpiece. So I think when I married my wife, okay, and she's from Kuala Terengganu, and she bought for me something, and I looked at it and saw, wow, how much is this? And when I found out the price, I got shocked. You mean for this thing is worth so much? So over the years, I have always visited this place in Kuala Terengganu, and I keep on buying these masterpieces. And I should not reveal to you too much, because hopefully, Prof. Sarah, you'll invite me next time to talk about this next level, about Malaysian masterpieces, which is going up in price. And in fact, one of it can cost up to 20,000. I think, Dato' Mama American, you know what I'm talking about, and you wear it around yourself, right? You know it. So the thing which I bought, my wife presented to me many, many years ago as a gift, is like probably worth 5 figures now. It's that expensive. But carry on, let's carry on to carpets. Okay, the history of carpets has always been in Central Asia. Okay, carpets were not made in North America or made in Europe. Okay, so if people, the white men tell you carpets are made in Europe, it's wrong, it's totally wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, don't get distracted, okay? These are just my little dayang who came with me. They came with me, okay? And I've just transformed them, and they are the protectors of the carpets, okay? So we have got a lot of carpets from Middle East, and a lot of carpets especially from certain areas which started carpet making. Now, you have to travel to these places to really, really understand why it's so traditional, why they make it. And the nomads used to make it to protect themselves from cold. Kublai Khan and Genghis Khan used to carry it. Okay, Alexander the Great used to have it. So if you get a carpet, which is really historical, like what Prof. Kwan said, it's going to cost a lot. Styles and origins are on the map. Okay, so if somebody tells you, hey, why you don't buy anything from this small country which is very famous for waffles, chocolate, and beer, no, they're not in the map at all. Okay, so most of the carpets today in Europe is dominated by Belgium carpets, but they're all polyester. Very few of them are made of high quality material. And so Persia, the ancient capital of Persia, which is Isfahan, Tehran, Khurasan, they are the epicenter of carpets. And after having given this lecture, I hope some of you will fly to Persia and look at how they make the carpets and maybe invest into some of these carpets. And the carpets are manufactured in places that have been manufacturing carpets, ladies and gentlemen, not for 100 years, not for 200 years. Some of them have been manufacturing carpets since the time of the prophets, okay? And they pass it down from family to family to family, okay? So I think in the world, there are three things that is very difficult to make, extremely difficult to make. One is carpets, you have to pass from family to family. Another thing is diamonds. And that's why the only human being that can polish diamonds and always get perfection, whether 128 facet and all that, okay, reside in a small place in Antwerp, okay, and they come from one race. Okay, only they can do it. I visited this place, the Diamond Center in Antwerp. Antwerp is a city in Belgium. When you go there, you got a shock of your life. The fellow is old and got all this tangle, wearing long hair, and then polishing the diamond. Amazing. And the age is 60 years old. Okay, wearing loops, wearing loops to polish the diamond. All diamonds are hand polished. Okay, and then you have carpets, right? I told you another third thing, which is very difficult to make. Okay, and I've been there and I've seen it. And I urge you, those of you who can buy it, please buy it. Go ahead and visit the Rolex Center in Geneva and find out how they make the watches there. It's all homemade watches, not owned by Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy, or Richemont. They are all owned by Rolex, by Hans Wilsdorf himself. So these are the three things. And of course, I think, Prof. Kwan, yes, numismatic is very, very important. Okay, carry it in your pocket, and it might be worth $1 million one day. Now, that's the place that we're going to visit in a short while. And you're going to have my Persian princesses show you some of the items from there. Now, I told you just now that these are the cities that produce the carpets. I mean, of course, we have got Kashmiri carpets, we got Indian carpets, Mongolian carpets, Turkmenistan and all that. But I'm showing you the best, okay? Don't go for second best. I'm showing you for the best. So I hope one day there might be an orthopedic conference in Isfahan, okay, or Tehran, and then all of us go there for the orthopedic conference. And then maybe we can explore this hidden treasure together. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, there are many categories of carpets, but when you look for carpets, you have to be careful. Are you looking for workshop carpets, nomadic carpets, village carpets? Okay, there are many categories. And you have to look also what are the materials. Do they come from wool, silk, cotton? Now, if you buy a silk carpet, you have to be very careful because you have to take care of it. Okay, it's very fastidious, and you can't simply go and pour milk and all that. Okay, cotton doesn't last that long. Okay? After a while, maybe 100 years, it's gone. Okay, the one that lasts quite long is wool. But now, okay, silk carpets are in the trend once more, and they're becoming more and more expensive. How about dyeing methods? They use a lot of dyeing methods, Well, don't buy carpets that are printed out with aniline dye. When you smell them, you know, okay, these are just block dye by factories. Use plant, mineral dyes, and also some of them even have dyes made from insects. Okay? So if you go and visit these centers, you will find out more about the dyeing method. They are very technical. Now look at this carpet. Okay, you see the dyeing method by the color is a bit changed, and it's not because of loss of quality. Now this carpet is made by the village people in Persia, and because they run out of some of the colors, they make new colors, and the process takes a long time. One carpet can take between 6 months to 1 year to make. And that's why it's very expensive. But you can also get cheated, no? So some carpets, they might lose color and they might look like this. But this is because of the color use consistency over the months. Now the hand tools used are this. So we all have our drills, okay, we have our scalpel, our forceps, so do the carpet makers. And some of this equipment, the age is almost 300 to 400 years old. They pass down from father to son to grandfather down. And only they know how to do it. And the layout are 4 different types of layout. Okay, they have got the niche and tree, the medallion, okay, and the 4 layouts are very important, figural motifs. This one you see a lot in the walls adorning Europe, okay, this one, in Europe, in the castles, but they're not carpets, they're tapestries, okay. These are medallion method, then repeated motifs, and finally niche and tree motif. This niche and tree motif is more for the Muslim prayer mat, you see, and this one is pointing towards Mecca, the Kaaba. Now many of these are expensive, and you can see them in museums. Now the knots, not only we do knots as surgeon, but you have got many types of knots, Turkish knot, different type of knot. This is very attention to detail. But you must know the knotting method to know the longevity of the carpet. Okay, there are also other knots by the Giordes knot, which is much stronger, okay, and sometimes can be used for thicker carpets. I look for this type of knots because I want longevity. I want the carpet to outlast my age and my children's age and so on and so forth. Then you have the asymmetrical knot. This is like your continuous stitch, but it tends to come off. So after you walk on it for a while and all that, it'll come off, it'll start fraying. So look at this carefully. And then you have Jufti and Tibetan knots. Okay? Tibetan carpets also are now in the trend, very colorful, okay? Very nice to put in your house, but of no value as a collector's item. And then Jufti comes from Khorasan, from where Imam Al-Ghazali used to talk about these carpets. And then we have the knot density. Now this is very important. Later you can test it out on my carpets. You actually take a small ruler and you measure, okay? You measure 10 centimeters, you count how many knots are there, and then you times 100. So that is the knot density. And a good knot density will be something like more than 2,000 knots per square meter. Now I know this is very technical and nobody will teach you about this. There's no carpet society in Malaysia, unfortunately. So I tried to look for Ekwan, where is there a carpenterian society? Nothing. So I had to do all this research on my own. Robert, take care, okay. So what is a masterpiece? Now we come to something which we need you to know. It's of exceptional detail. When you look at it, the detail is amazing. It is knotted not by machine but by hand. It's handmade. The weavers are all professional. Maybe 10 generations. Moyang, Chichit, everybody has been making carpets. And then more than 600,000 knots, okay, per meter square. Superior quality material. They use natural dyes. And this is important. Always look for this. And you heard it from me. It bears the signature of where it came from. And it's, you know, hand woven into the carpet. Not signature by hand, you know, okay, but it's woven into the carpet. Look for that, okay. That's a masterpiece. Ladies and gentlemen, take a guess how much this is. Take a guess. I think this one I got to ask Prof. Kwan. How much do you think is this? Amazing. Okay, 1 million. Prof. Sarah. 1 million. So ladies and gentlemen, sometimes beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. This is a carpet which is known as Valbi Ruta. Oh, it's amazing. And ladies and gentlemen, you can buy it. I even put the article number there. You can go and buy it. Buy banyak-banyak, and then when it comes to your house, the price goes down, okay? So unfortunately, my esteemed colleagues, you will not listening to my tutorial, okay? Look at the design. This is a rojak design. This is a chapalang cekai design. Okay, then remember I showed you the 4 designs? So remember, as Aladdin said, it's not what's on the outside, it's what's on the inside, no. Don't be fooled, no, by what's on the side. So later when you look at my Persian princesses, don't look on the outside, see what's on the inside. Okay, they'll be coming soon. Ladies and gentlemen, Why you want to invest in a carpet? Why? Why should you invest in carpet? My God, the art of hand weaving carpets is dying. Okay, I don't know why. Is the Taliban killing them or the ISIS killing them? I have no idea, but they're dying. So when I visited Iran, I found out the family is not doing it anymore. Now I was telling myself, if they're not doing it anymore, it's going to become rarer and rarer. Yeah, the carpet which I bought there many years ago, they're not making it anymore. So I think the carpet price is going to go through the roof, and it has already escalated. And you buy it now because tomorrow may be too late. Okay? And you are a very exclusive group that I'm telling you this, because honestly, Prof. Sarah, I've never given this lecture to anybody else. It's just exclusive here because I'm supposed to be in Milan for Global Spine, but I told myself I have to choose. Professor Tengku Sarah invited me here, so I told the people in Global Spine, forget about it, I'll come again another time. But I have to give this talk to you guys, and hopefully one day we'll have a carpet festival in the Noceral. Okay, ladies, always remember, choose the best and forget the rest. Choose the best carpets. So now I'd like to invite my Persian princesses to come in and take everybody on my carpet flight. Ladies and gentlemen, followed by the Prince of Persia will now show you one carpet. And before you take a break for tea, but don't bring your tea onto the carpet, please. Okay, have a look at the carpets. Some of them have been my family heirlooms. They've been in the family, okay. Some of these carpets I purchased overseas, more than 100 years old. And some of these carpets are 10 years old, certified. So I leave you with this very pleasant, interactory, moment in life. Once again, thank you, Prof. Tengku Sarah. Thank you, Noceral, for inviting me. And fly me with a carpet. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dato'. Can I please invite Prof. Sarah to the stage to give away the souvenir?
I think we don't go on the stage because we are blocked.
Yeah.
Shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? I can open your eyes, take you wonder by wonder, over, sideways, and under, on a magic carpet ride, a whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no.
Okay, thank you very much.
Where
So,
to
yeah. So we are going for our tea break. But before that, just like to acknowledge the presence of Prof. Dr. Adiba, our Dean of Medical Faculty, who is here. Thank you very much for attending. So let us go for our tea break, and then we'll come back in about 10 to 15 minutes. Thank you, everyone. Let's go for our coffee.
Unbelievable sights, indescribable feeling, soaring, tumbling, freewheeling through an endless diamond sky, a whole new world.
Don't you dare close your eyes.
100,000
Hold your breath,
things
it
to
gets
see.
better.
I'm like a shooting star. I've come so far. I can't go back to where I used to be. Every turn a surprise.
Horizons
Every
to
moment red
pursue.
letter.
I'll chase them anywhere. There's time to spare. Let me share this whole new world with you. A whole new world. That's where we'll be.
That's where we'll be.
Thrilling chase.
Wondrous place for you and me.
So I hope everyone is comfortable in their seats. There is some unfortunate news. We just received a news that Dato Syed Asagos' mother just passed away. So he had to leave. So we doakan semoga can sedekah Al-Fatihah for the Muslim to arwah, and then condolences to the family. Okay, but I think it's still okay for us to carry on. Yeah, Prof? Okay. So before we restart our program, I'm gonna show a montage of our current graduates. It's just a short video of the current batch. Hope you guys enjoy it.
Started out as a feeling, which then grew into a hope, which then turned into a quiet thought, which then turned into a quiet word.
And then that word grew louder and louder till it was a battle cry. I'll come back when you call me. No need to say goodbye.
Just because everything's changing doesn't mean it's never been this way before. All you can do is try to know who your friends are as you head off to the wall. Pick a star on the dark horizon and follow the light. You'll come back when it's over. No need to say goodbye. You'll come back when it's over. No need to say goodbye. Now we're back to the beginning. It's just a feeling and no one knows yet. Just because they can feel it too doesn't mean that you have to forget. Let your memories grow stronger and stronger till they're before your eyes. You'll come back when they call you. No need to say goodbye. You'll come back when they call you. No need to say goodbye.
Okay, congratulations, graduates. So we're gonna have some rearrangement of the list. I'm gonna start with Dr. Faisal first. Dr. Faisal Manan for some thank you speech, and then carry on with his actual talk. Yep.
Hi, Assalamualaikum, and very good morning to everyone. My name is Faisal. It's an honor to be chosen to give this appreciation speech. We would like to say thank you to all our beloved lecturers. The picture on how I see our orthopedic department is we are just like a family. I'm sure everyone felt the same when I say this. I see Prof. Saw as a father figure and Prof. Sarah as a motherly, naturally. They just give us the sense of, it's okay, we can sort out this problem. Such a genuine reassurance. Prof. Azlina, our esteemed head of department, kind and nurturing, keeping us together, knitting the bonds together. Then we have our genius and brilliant uncles, Prof. Azhar, Prof. Kwan, and Prof. Chris. I know, even though the years between us not that much apart, but I would consider them as an uncle because they are very out of respect as well. Or I can call them abang. You just can't stop admiring their intelligence level and the way they think. You feel like you want to pick their brains and see every thoughts and learn from it. On the other side, we have Prof. Vivek. He's not here today. Our ever so strong and macho uncle who can, from what I heard, reband a bended interlocking nail with his bare hand. This is when I was in Kelang, so I heard all this stuff. I don't know whether it's true or not, but let's just pretend that's true. This human-sized, incredible green Hulk. Then we have Prof. Razif, Dr. Kantan, Prof. Eng, and Dr. Zubair. They are just super cool and easy to talk to and easily approachable, kind and forgiving. Where's Prof. Tunku? Prof. Tunku Kamarul and Prof. Azura. Sometimes I just wonder how you can have all the energy, time, and the determination to do it all. Managing the hospital and in the same time working, doing all the orthopedic surgeries, and managing all the tedious tissue engineering stuff. I'm sure this requires a strong willpower and discipline. This just shows a personal character, powerful integrity. I don't think many can do what you are doing. And speaking about Prof. Azura, a bit about you. Do you guys know she has really lightning fast reflex? One time during an oncology surgery, there was a fluid-filled huge tumor just burst out, projecting toward her. In just a split second, she just whipped out her ninja move and then evaded the questionable fluids. Unfortunately, I was just standing behind her, so I got spilled by it. So lesson learned from me is like, don't stand behind Prof. Azura. Okay, and our equally strong uncles and abang-abang in trauma, Dr. Kumar, Dr. Johan, Dr. Simran, Dr. Shuaib. Thank you for guiding us and entertaining our midnight phone call during on-call hours. Say goodbye to your beauty sleeps, guys. There will be more phone call to come. And finally, Dr. Roshan, Dr. Faisal, Dr. Fairuz, Dr. Chan, Dr. Chikit, Dr. Lee, Dr. Jaya, Dr. Sashin, Dr. Teo, thank you for being such a good teacher. Every single one of you are dedicated, passionate to teach, and made us feel so welcome. Mr. Robert, I know he just left, but for special thanks to Mr. Robert, you are an inspirational. Working with you in Kelang Hospital was a true honor. I look up highly on you, down-to-earth guy, and yet so knowledgeable, a true character. To my juniors, my little brothers and sisters, Chichi, Warren, Tiru, Dinesh, Eric, Madhya, Sashi, Xian, Ling, Abong, Asim, and the rest of you guys. All the best to you all. It was a real pleasure to work with you guys from our batch. And to the ortho nurses, PPK, Noceral staff, also known as Kak Aziza and the gang, you guys are the best. And for that, from all of us, Reza, Takeaway, Saidatul, the twins, Chung and Chang, Yo, Sashi Rajesh, Cairo Rushdi Mui, Loy, and myself, we would like to say from the bottom of our heart, thank you ever so much for shaping and sculpting us into becoming this awesome orthopedic surgeon. Well, I hope that we are awesome. Inshallah. Okay, all right. Then, okay, moving on to my topics. Hi, it's me again. My name is Faizal. Okay, my topic will be on life lesson learned during master. Balancing life and learning, mastering orthopedic was not an easy task for me. Yes, like everyone else, I have some sort of plan for my future. But just like any best laid plan, things do get off track, deranged. So when that happens, do you give it all up or do you continue fighting for what you want, for what you believe? Those are the questions that I'm sure some of us, if not perhaps all of us, have to go through. Like in my case, my plan was way off track than what I have planned. I did not anticipate to be struck down by this dengue hemorrhagic fever, damn those mosquitoes, going through bad recovery phase, having problem completing my thesis, and failing the first attempt and eventually delayed in completing my master's. For some, maybe that was nothing, but for me, that was a huge blow. Demoralizing enough to even to try to, again, to stand back up on both feet and continue on the good fight. But with all that, what I struggled the most was when I found out I have a learning disability. It's dyslexia. Made it all even worse. So the million-dollar question is, how did I find out this learning disability and why now? Why don't I know it earlier? So it's all go back to this mosquito, the Aedes thingy, very naughty stuff. It was during the dengue incident, I was really sick to a point, literally feel like dying. I was admitted for a week in the hospital, persistently in shock for a week, bleeding from my gum and even bleeding from my intravenous granula as well. The liver was deranged as well. After that disastrous 1 week, my muscles were atrophy, I lost lots of weight, and I noticed I was having difficult reading even simple stuff like newspaper. I see the letters, I see the words, but I can't comprehend it at all. Initially, I thought it was a phase, but it goes on for a while. Thankfully, I was in oncology. It wasn't that busy, but it was heavy enough. Let's say for one day, we have 10 cases for OT. So I would say they were very fast and very efficient. And sometimes we stay extra time, but not get paid, that's fine. Doing master requires constant learning and tons of reading. And on top of that, you still have to provide service and work. What I found to be effective couple of months before my final exam, the recent one, what I did was, morning, I tried hard to study, and in the evening go to the clinic. But because I noticed whenever the body got exhausted in the morning, in the evening it's difficult to read, even tougher. So coping with dyslexia and coming to terms with it was by far my biggest lesson learned during masters. So what is dyslexia, or according to me? When I see the letters or words, I see it just like anyone else. I see the alphabets and all, but I have difficult understanding it or comprehend it. I have to imagine it, then I can see it. I tend to read words wrongly as well, like even simple stuff like read, like the words the letter just changed by itself. Even simple words, but over time I can do a fast autocorrect, automatically know that my understanding is not what the sentence is trying to say. And because of it, I have a tendency to reread every sentence I have read again and again. It's tedious, but you just have to do it. And when I'm tired, I can't speak properly, especially when I'm post-call or sleep deprived. So during the exam, I did a mistake, especially for my viva. I slept like 4 hours before, so lesson learned, sleep early. My brain can still think straight, but verbalizing it was rather tedious and difficult. Remembering name was tough as well, but oh well, what to do? People tend to forget other people's name as well. With all the downside of dyslexia, my brain is wired in a different way. I have almost excellent facial recognition ability. I can recognize someone or a place that I haven't seen or been for the past 10 years or longer. When I talk about my flaws, of course I have to tell about good things as well a bit. I can manipulate complicated objects three-dimensionally really well in my head. And the best of it all, to a certain extent, a certain degree, I have a photographic memory. It does help me for my master exam. It was not as good as when I was in medical college, but still functioning well enough to pass the exam, I guess. But working, learning, and sleep deprived, most of the time, it doesn't help at all. And for the exam, I don't want people to know that I have dyslexia and give me a special treatment for the exam. I want to pass or fail based on my merits and my work and my ability. I want to make the victory even more sweeter than when I win, when I pass. I was really hesitant to share all this personal stuff, but I want to encourage all my juniors and those who had failed by this very personal flaw that I have. So what I'm trying to say here is, no matter what happened, if things didn't things didn't go as you planned, don't give up. Get on your feet, fight for it. If you really want that something, don't be afraid to ask for help. And in life, things happen. Get over it and continue on. Before I step down from the podium, I would like to say my special thanks to God, Allah, my parents, family, my friends, Azan. Special thanks to Dr. Johan as well. He literally pulled me aside and gave me a pep talk and word of encouragement to overcome this problem every so often. You're here. I thought you were like, hi. Hello. And for that, I am eternally grateful. Thank you for that, Dr. Johan, and thank you so much to all the lecturers.
Thank you, Faisal, for sharing your experience. So we go to the next speaker, Dr. Muhammad Reza Muhammad Aziz, with a topic titled "The Art of Eating Good Food." But he looks like he lost like many pounds, so maybe he can restart his eating regime.
Yeah, just for the record, I lost like 12 kgs over the span of 6 months. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Reza. I will be giving a talk on the art of eating, which I googled yesterday. The art of eating is actually gastronomy. So gastronomy is a word that we commonly hear, especially nowadays that they have got a lot of cooking shows. Dato' Zamin gave a talk on carpets, Prof. Kwan gave a talk on money, and I hope probably in 10 years' time, I get called back to give a talk on something more expensive than food. Okay? Yeah. And of note, I was brought up in a house full of carpets, Dato', and it was terrorizing for us kids because we can never go to the area, we can never eat there, we can never sleep there, and I hope that doesn't really happen to your children. All right. So the art of eating. Everything in life is based on principles. My principles is to never give up and to have a thick face. So principles of eating, this is something that I created myself. Taste is one of the 5 main senses. Just imagine if you lose your sight, how much you would treasure it. Just imagine if you lose the ability to hear, how much you would treasure it. So just as much as you treasure your sight, your hearing, your sense of touch, your sense of smell, you should treasure your taste buds too. So with that, you should always give yourself the best food that you can get. Food is an art. Carpet is an art. As you can see, nowadays there's a lot of people making cakes and I mean, people are just creating food, creating to make it more pleasing to the eyes, creating to make it nicer, creating to just have art in food. So what I'm trying to say is try and appreciate food as best as you can, because we have got people who eat literally just because they have to eat. I mean, we have to eat, but at the same time, we have to appreciate what we eat. And there are people who can eat in probably 2 minutes or 3 minutes. I'm like, that is not eating at all. That is swallowing. And the idea of eating is that you really have to taste it. You have to feel the texture, the firmness, the mouth watering, your saliva. You have to feel everything. And that's the beauty of appreciating food. Food keeps you alive, yes. So what you do to things that keep you alive, you have to love it. You have to love it with all your heart. So always look for things that is always the best for yourself. Okay? And it is individualized. There are people who likes durian. There are people who doesn't like durian. There are people who eat patai, and there are people who doesn't like patai. There are people who like spicy food. There are vegetarians. So it is very individualized. So what you have to do is you have to identify what you really like in your food, and try not to shy away from it. I mean, like, even when you are not a fan of spicy food, there's a lot of food that is not spicy, but it is incredibly tasty. So embrace what you are, embrace what you like, and you'll enjoy your food better. Food is sacred, so you have to respect it. You have to respect the preparation of food. You have to respect the presentation of food. You have to respect the people who are carrying you food. Have to respect the food that they are carrying to you. So I normally get a bit pissed if a waiter or a waitress, they don't get my order properly, or if they if they didn't carry my food properly, because I feel like food is very sacred. So it is something that you really have to jaga, and you know, because eventually you're going to be eating it, and it's going to be part of yourself. I don't eat next to a drain. I don't eat in a place where, I don't eat chendol under the hot sun, because it's, to me, I think it's a bit difficult and it's a bit disrespectful to food. And I don't eat at places where it is too overhyped, and I don't go to places where it is, I don't go to places where it is just Instagram worthy, and it's just, all those hipster places, yeah, I don't go to all those places, because I think it is just hype, and they don't really serve nice, authentic, good food. Yeah. And the most important thing is there is no price on food. There are 3 ringgit food, there are 300 ringgit food, there are 500 ringgit food. But to me, I think there is no price on food. You can get, the nicest food is normally a food that comes in a big plate, but a very small portion. But when you taste that small portion, that is probably the best small portion that you can ever eat, and that you can ever try. So try and explore. There's a lot of eateries in KL. There's a lot of eateries around Malaysia. Try and explore. There's a lot of food places that you can really, really enjoy the food. These are a few of my staples. I grew up eating Sri Thai. So everyone who knows Sri Thai, they are not in PJ anymore. Now they're in Uptown. And it's a bit, I think they are close to bankruptcy, because I don't see any more customers over there. But I felt like their tom yum is probably the best tom yum. So if you guys want to try and have their tom yum, that is literally the best tom yum. The alternative to a good Thai food is basil, or any chain, authentic Thai chain. And there's a nice, not a lot of people know this, but there's a nice place in Bangsa called HSBC, Hot and Spicy Bangsa Seafood Place. It is just behind Ma'ruf. And if you guys can try that, the food is really good. Mom's Place, where you want to get a good, reliable, home-cooked food, Malaysian. And I think in KL, the best nasi ayam you could ever get in KL is probably the one from Grand Hyatt. It is a bit pricey, but it is well worth it for nasi ayam, but it's okay. And one of my other favorite restaurants is Korean. A lot of people ask me where they can celebrate their graduation. So, yeah, if you have never tried South Sea, you really have to try, because it's a sin to not try South Sea. If you want a view of KL, Fuego has got a very nice view of KL, and the food is really good. If you want to dine next to KLCC, then Marinos would be a good place. If you want expensive, crazy expensive Japanese restaurant, Nobu, you can try. And recently, Burgers and Lobsters opened up in Genting. They are a chain of restaurants from UK, and they opened up their first branch in Asia in Genting. So a month before the exam, we actually went up there just to have a birthday dinner, and it was well worth it. So yeah, go up to Genting, because in Genting they do have quite a number of restaurants that you can try. Okay. So yesterday I went out with my nephews. We went to a Lego store in Bangsa Village. So, okay. The Lego is a bit dark, but I told them, because it comes in 3, so I told them to make a Lego for me. And then they made this. They said, Ayanga, since you're now a doctor, of course they don't know that I'm a specialist. Since you're now a doctor, I created a Lego orthopedics doctor for you. So with that, I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Riza. You are the very definition of high maintenance. No, no, no. No, just joking, Riza. Sorry, boss. Well, we carry on to our next speaker, Dr. Ko Tek Wei, with the title of his talk, Anger Management for Orthopedic Surgeons.
Yeah. Good morning, Prof, lecturers, and also Dato. Yeah, I guess this is, yeah. So this is my topic. So to begin with, I think my first encounter with an angry orthopedic surgeon was when I was in KKM assisting my boss. There was this crazy anesthetist, officially crazy. She was actually diagnosed with schizo. And then, yeah, she persists to disturb the surgery until the surgeon finally gave up and threw the knife onto the floor. And it turned out to be a huge incident. There was also another incident where when I was, yeah, one of the surgeon operated on the wrong leg, and me, who was in the field OT down, was actually caught in and witnessed the nuclear war that happened. So basically, when I was in KKM, there's a lot of funny things going on. Sorry. So even when I told them that I do not know how to do a procedure, and all I will get is moral support, and that's it. So basically, it's a Wild West. So here, I would like to give dedication to my senior, specifically Fu, when I approached him and asked him about which university should I apply. This is what he told me. First, UM is in the heart of KL, so you should go there if you are from Black. And second, because of the professors, the lecturers, and the teams there. In fact, there's such a good team there that I can't fit them into one slide. So it was such a culture shock when I first came here. So to briefly show how different they are, we have Prof. Sarah and the hand team. I especially have to thank Prof. Sarah because during the long case, she actually came into the quarantine room and told me, "Don't worry, you can do it, all the best." And that really perks me up. Then, of course, there's Onko Prof. Vivek, who was everybody. Everybody can come to Onko teaching now. And I also like to point out, if you can see there, the slides of the picture, that he actually took the time off to snap and share to us for the Penang Survival course and to help us to prepare for the exam. Of course, Prof. Kwan and Spine team, who actually took time off, especially in morning, 6:45 a.m., to have classes to grill us on. Really, just something that really respect about them. Of course, the arthroplasty team as well. Prof. Azhar is here, no? Yeah, the words are slightly smaller because we always have difficulty to try to hear him. That's why at the back, those few of us MO behind will be discussing, what did he just say? But seriously, even Prof. Azlina, she actually took time off this morning to ask what can they improve on their teaching. This is only the only place where I heard that people actually took the time off and the effort to improve the teaching. Other than teaching, I also witnessed that Prof. saw his charity work, especially with the Silent Mentor program. This really showed me another side of orthopedic surgery. And Prof. Razif and his very long, grammatically correct, but very helpful before you go for your long. And I also like to take the chance to thank Prof. Ng, who actually came to talk to me after my. Really, thank you, Prof. So, yeah. Other than what I experienced, these are testimonials who are purely hearsay, not what I said. But people actually approach me and tell me that they are very envious of our teaching facility from here as well. Understand from them is basically jiba there. Even at home, even among our colleagues itself, people actually come and tell me that they regret not utilizing fully the facilities that are here. Or even abroad, when I went for my Thailand attachment, they praise us for our good teachers. So I know I detour from my topic. Seriously, am not good with anger management. But yes, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all my professors, teachers, and seniors. And it was really great that I could do my master here. Yeah. So thank you. And just a small word before I leave for my colleagues. Even though you may have leave the uni, yesterday when I was doing the research, I key in Noceral and all these pictures come out. So you never leave the uni. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Go that way. So we go to the next speaker, Dr. Loy Kaweng, with the topic of the best kind of orthopedic patients. Yeah.
Good morning. My name is Loy. I always have a stage fright, so I'll make this as simple as possible. So a topic given to me is an ideal orthopedic patient. It's a rather serious topic. I don't have much photos to share and then related to this ideal orthopedic patient. So this is one of the most difficult slides to prepare, and I just finished it 3 a.m. in the morning. So it's rather difficult because it's something not really not really into academic, and an emotional one because I know I'll be leaving here. So ideal comes from the word from the Latin word, idealis. It is a conception of something in its perfection. It is a standard of perfection or excellence, an ultimate object or aim, and something that exists only in the imagination. So from the title, an ideal patient, I don't know whether they really exist. So a socialist, American socialist, actually introduced this ideal patient theory in 1951. So they say an ideal patient is a patient who is willing to give up some activities and responsibilities. An ideal patient regards self as being in need of care and unable to get well by his own decision and will. Someone who really wants to get better quickly or seek help from and cooperate with a doctor. So disclaimer here, every practice and possibly even practitioners will have a different set of qualifiers to create their own ideal patients. So it may not apply to some other surgeons. So my kind of ideal patient is a patient who really needs my help related to my expertise. Someone who is willing to listen and comply to agreed plans and also advices. Someone who respects me as a treating surgeon, and someone who will bring me good results. So a very quick and brief presentation because it's only a few minutes, but I still have 1 minute and 30 seconds. So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank my teachers. Teachers' Day is near. Happy Teachers' Day. And I'd like to thank my seniors for their wonderful tips. My batchmate who dragged me along to the success. They have been trying hard to bring me along. And my juniors, thank you for all the helps. And again, to the staff nurses, the clinic staffs, and so OT nurses as well as the clinic staffs, and again my teachers. Thank you.
Thank you, Loy, for that very heartwarming speech. So let's go to the next speaker, Dr. Rajesh Rampal, with the title of his topic, Being Vegetarian.
Okay, I know what all of you are thinking, right? How did the vegetarian become like this? I'll explain that at the end of the talk. So first, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all the profs, all the lecturers, everyone here who has supported us and helped us through. I would like to thank my study mates and also all my batch mates who helped the weaker ones like us to come through. Thank you all. Now I'll talk the boring topic. And as you can see, I'm still suffering from the stage fright, from the Viva. Okay, so what do all these people share in common? Great people like the Hippocrates, Steve Jobs, Albert Einstein, Rajesh Rampal. So you can see that all great minds have figured one thing out. We have to become vegetarians. So what is I defined vegetarian? A person who does not eat, nor believe in eating meat, fish, fowl, and sometimes any product derived from animals. Okay, that's all. The different types. So flexitarian is one like Putra, who eats vegetarian food when it's available, but eats non-veg too. So a pescatarian eats fish. Okay, and a vegan is one of the extremists who doesn't eat anything, doesn't use any animal products or anything like that. That's the new fad now for all the celebrities, because I'll explain in the further slides. So why do generally people become vegetarian? Most of the time, for me, it was religion. We practice many different followings in Hinduism, and for one of the beliefs that I follow is, I try to follow the path of being a vegetarian, trying to be a better soul. Also, there are new people who have believe now that animals have rights. According to, never mind, I forgot that. Okay. So the health benefits, you can generally see. That's what you call a healthy boy. So it helps you lower your blood pressure, control diabetes, and prevent cancer. So actually, there are a few reasons why you should do it. Because there's actually around 600 million people in this world who are already vegetarians, and the number is growing. You have to save the world. More than 50% of global warming is due to the production of livestock. It takes about 50,000 gallons of water just to produce 1 kg of beef. And around 60 billion animals are killed globally per year just to feed you all. I hope you all feel better while having lunch. In conclusion, you don't have to be a superhero to save the world. You just have to be a vegetarian.
Thank you, Rajesh. So all of us can become heroes by changing into vegetarian. So all right, so we go to our next speaker, Dr. Sasidaran Ramalingam, with the title of Manners Make Man.
A very good afternoon to honorable speakers, distinguished guests, my professors, my lecturers, my teachers. First and foremost, I'd like to extend my sincere thanks and gratitude for all your guidance and help. And I'm honored to stand here today, being trained in this great institution. Just to reflect, 1 year ago, I was just sitting right where Hafiz is seated. So it's just a nice feeling today. Coming back to my topic, manners maketh man. To my colleagues who chose the topic, thank you. Very overwhelming, eh? Thank you so much. Okay. Yesterday I was just deciding how can I prepare this slides. It's quite difficult. Nevertheless, being traditionally trained for the last 4 years, CME, presentation, Passover. So what came out was this. This is going to be an outline of my presentation. And at that point of time, also struck another colleague of mine, Lloyd. Thanks for your advice. I realized this is not going to be a CME. This is a talk, a simple talk where I'm sharing my experience with my colleagues, my teachers. So this came. It's a famous movie, Kingsman Service. Yeah, Deva, you were right. So it's a nice movie. I'm sorry I couldn't play the clip. It takes about 3 minutes, 25 seconds, leaving me with only 1 minute to speak. I have 5. So you can YouTube it. So next, evidence-based. So what is the paper that supports this proverb? Manners maketh the man. 4 years of training, so I had to find a paper. So it's by William Horman. He's a teacher. He's also a headmaster. Back in UK, I don't remember the town. And it's from his publication, the title Vulgaria. That's where this proverb was coined, okay, published. Basically, it means it's your mannerism and behavioral characteristic make who you are. Thank you for the person who chose the topic. Okay. So now, in a nutshell, we meet a lot of people in our life, right from childhood to until we leave this world. We meet a lot of people, and throughout this journey, we collect a lot of good habits and move on. And I believe it starts in the family itself. We have a lot of idols, right from family like father, mother. Then you meet your teachers, your professors, even national figures, great, even celebrities can be your idol. So it's best we choose who's going to be our idol. In our life, we have 2 choices. You can choose the path of love, or you can choose the path of hatred. You choose the path of love, you end up with joy, happiness, and harmony. As well, the aim of living here is to live in peace and harmony, end of the day. So we have great figures. No, it's just some of them. I couldn't put everybody. Okay? Some of them who you can choose to choose their ideology and their training, how to move on in our life. And there are also even new, I would say, current sensational leaders, such as, okay, so hopefully World War III is not on the brink. And more than that, I had my own idol. He's my moral compass, and for me, he's a well-mannered man. I just want to take this platform to pay a tribute to him. And just to all my friends, my colleagues, I just want to say something like, don't give up till the end. I'm not a great student, I must admit that, but don't give up till the end, till the last minute, till you drop that, till the bell rings, okay? When things get tougher, the tougher gets going. Thank you so much. And thank you.
Thank you, Zasi. I think there's no better person to give that speech other than you. So go to our next speaker, Dr. Khairul Anwar Ayub, with his talk will be titled "The Logic of Orthopedics."
Assalamualaikum, Datuk Dr. Mahmud Merikan, Prof. Sarah, Datuk Zamin, my esteemed professors and colleagues. So, my slides haven't come up yet, so wait for that. Technical difficulty. Okay, so let's start. I was given the topic of the logic of orthopedics. So start off with some definition. Orthopedic was coined in the year 1741 by Nicholas Henry. So made up by two words. Orthos means straight and Paidon means child. And this has since developed to basically all the subspecialties you have today. And logic means reasoning conducted or assessed according to strict principles of validity. So what does this all mean, the logic of orthopedics? When I got the topic, I myself was confused. So basically, like a student, I asked my professors. So the first one I asked was Prof. Sarah. And she said, orthopedic is very, very logical. There's no fantasy about it. And this was confirmed by Prof. Azlina. It's logical in old self. And Prof. Azura said, you have to think about it yourself. And then I asked Dr. Chan. He had a lot to say. And as you can see, myself, I'm quite confused. And then I went on to ask Dr. Roshan, and he gave a very funny answer. Don't bother explaining a spine case to Prof. Kwan. It's like explaining sex to a porn star. And then when I asked Dr. Chiu, basically he went back to the first principle of being a doctor, always do what is right. And Dr. Kantan said, we may not save a patient's life, but we make life worth living. And then when I asked Mr. Johan, basically this is what happened. Sorry. Prof. Chris, he told me that you always have to think beyond the box. So patient is not just an X-ray, it's a whole person. You aim for perfection, but do not compromise the safety of the patient. Prof. Saw, basically, he's our bone builder, and he said, because we can build bones, orthopedics is the best medical specialty. Prof. Vivek went and said, make orthopedic fun. So it's like Legos, the patient is basically our canvas, and our constructs are the paintbrush. And Prof. Azhar, he quoted one of his favorite orthopedic quotes from Jack Houston. It's all anatomy, plus a little bit of sense, biology, and mechanics. So then I went and basically came up with my own conclusion from all the lecturers' input. So basically, in orthopedics, you have to use your brain, consider the anatomy and biomechanics, always clarify what you want to do for the patient, but be safe and also value your teachers. So I'd like to mention a special thanks to Prof. Sarah, Prof. Azlina, Prof. Azura, Dr. Jaya, Dr. Sachin, Dr. Shams, Dr. Teo, who's not here, Dr. Zubir, Mr. Johan, Dr. Chan, Dr. Faisal, Dr. Roshan, Dr. Chiu, Dr. Simrat, Dr. Kumar, sorry, Dr. Simrat, Dr. Suhaib, Dr. Kantan, Prof. Razif, Prof. Grace, Prof. Kamarul, Prof. Eng, Prof. Saw, Prof. Vivek, Prof. Azhar, and last but not least, Prof. Kwan. You guys have been a pillar in my education, and without you, I would have not made it. And a special thanks to my batch, Rusdi, Mui, Loy, Saidatul, Yo, Chang, Chung, Sasi, and Rajesh. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Khairul. Very interesting way in preparing your slides. Makes life easy, isn't it? Okay, so we go to the next speaker, Dr. Yo Kian Hua, with the topic, My Favorite Surgical Implant.
A very good afternoon to our MC, our guests, professors and lecturers, and my fellow friends. I also have some stage fright. So I was given this topic, my favorite surgical implant. I think it's quite tough for me. Yeah. So after my exam, I think this is the toughest slide that I need to do, even though only one. So I gone through some struggle. What should I put? And in the end, I put a screw and a wire, because I think these two are very important. It is some very basic implant that most of the orthopedic training will start to use in the very beginning. and most of us are familiar with it. And actually, it doesn't use for surgical only. It's also used for your cars, your fans, everything electronics or anything. And to the juniors, I think this is very important because it is one of the two OSTI questions that come out, Question leak, huh? Okay. So there are so many implants that everybody will have their preferable choice. Of course, there's no right and wrong. Everybody have your own choice. For me, each and every of it is unique on its own, and I think it's nice to play with. But in the end of it, I think the most important is love what you are doing, because from there you get your happiness. So by knowing what you are doing, you'll be very important. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank all my professors, all my lecturers for being such a great mentor, not mentors, mentor to us, and guide us throughout the academic years. So I would like to thank my thesis supervisors also, Prof. Kamaro and Dr. Tan, for helping me for my laboratory kind of experience. Yes. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank my friends, my juniors, my seniors, and my study group mates. Without you all, I think it's a very tough road to go down. And thank God we made it. Thank you.
Thank you, Yo. So we go to our next speaker, Dr. Mui Sung Siang. The topic, the surgery I most enjoy. Please come up to the stage.
Good morning, no, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today I was given this topic, the surgery I most enjoy. It's a rather tough topic. Anyway, I'm not going to drag too much of your time. First, I would like to show you this picture. This is me operating in operating theater. And then this is me killing some bad guys in computer games. So I enjoy doing both of them. So let's go back to my topic. Sorry. So in what kind of a surgery that you get to use this box of instrument? And I feel, what you call that? I feel like I'm opening up this box of instrument, a box full with specialized equipment that can save the day. And in what kind of surgery that you get to look like this, and then actually you feel like you look better, you feel like this. So I think basically you know the answer. So the microsurgery is the surgery I enjoy most. Before I leave here, I would like to say thank you to to all my teachers and my seniors, my batchmates, and also all the support staffs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mui. That's very short and sweet. So we go to our next speaker, Dr. Muhammad Rusdi Draman, with the title of his talk, The Magic of Mountain Biking.
Assalamualaikum and good afternoon to everyone. Actually, I was given this topic, but actually I'm not very good at mountain bike. It's just because I bought a mountain bike 3 years ago at 5,000 ringgit, and then I use it less than 5 times per year. So thank you for giving this topic to me. Wait, ah. Okay. First, what is a mountain bike? So we go by definition first. It's actually a device. It's not a device. It's a bicycle. Basically, bicycle used for off-road cycling. So it's a off-road cycling. Simple definition. We go. Okay, it's a growing sport in Malaysia. So a lot of people start getting involved in mountain biking, and there are a lot of groups in Klang Valley especially, which is active in cycling every week. So you can choose any of the group if you want to join. So there are type of bicycle. So most of people think mountain bike is just a mountain bike, but actually there are many types of mountain bike. So if we go by design, we can divide it. It's a rigid frame mountain bike. There are hardtail mountain bike. There are soft tail or full suspension. It's depending on the presence of the suspension system. So, so we go. What is the advantages of the mountain bike? So this is the reason why I waste my 5,000 ringgit on mountain bike. So to think the good thing of it. So it prepare me. It give me cardiovascular fitness. So it prepare me to go for fast heart rate during Viva or long case. And then for mental benefit, it's really helped me to relieve my stress, improve my mood. If I have a bad call, then I call Tiru, let's go to cycle tomorrow, then okay, we go together. And then other benefit, yes, we can meet many people, people outside from outside hospital, from all different background, so we can make new friends. So in Kuala Lumpur, where to ride? Actually, there are a lot of places in Kuala Lumpur. So that is the best thing staying in Kuala Lumpur. So you every once or twice a month we have a KL car free morning. So this is somewhere between the Dataran Merdeka. You can ride the bicycle. Once a Maju, then you can go to KLCC. So then we have a Titiwangsa Lake Garden, and also there's a Park City Central Park. So this is for leisure. If you want something more challenging, then you can follow me to Bukit Kiara, Taman Tun, TTDI. So here we have many stages, many level of the mountain biking. You can go downhill, you can climb up, you jump, then fall. Okay. And then we have Putrajaya Challenge Park also. This one you need a expert guide to bring you there. If you don't want to go into the jungle, you're afraid of mosquito, you can play with Urban Ride Challenge. So Urban Ride Challenge, you just bring your mountain bike, you go nearby your house, you find where is the jantas, you carry your mountain bike, then you go down. But make sure you wear your helmet, your protective wear gear, okay, and don't fall. Okay, this is a trip to Uluyam with my friend. So it's really a good place, a good activity to help you to forget your bad days and be in your own world. But sometimes your happy habit, your calmness also being disturbed by your wife calling when to go back. Okay, I think that's all for me. So I would like to take this opportunity to thanks to all my great teachers, my great professors, so many of you. I'm eternally grateful to all of you. Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you very much, Rusdi. So our next speaker, Dr. Chang Chi Wei, will give a talk on best orthopedic jokes. So a lot of pressure on his shoulders actually. So,
Hello, good Good afternoon. I'm not really that good at cracking jokes, but the story, the story starts about 6 months ago, whereby a group of people, about 7 of us, get together. Every weekend we get together, forget about their families, friends, and even their children and wives and husbands, and they study. They are so into orthopedic surgery. Then their friend, whenever they ask them, "What are you doing?" Straight away the answer is orthopedic surgery. But actually they are not asking what they are doing in their life, is that what they are doing during this weekend. And oh, the answer is pretty standard, or reading about Ortho and studying for the board so that I can match in orthopedic. So, and then their friends offer them, what about ordering KFC? Then say, okay, KFC chicken has bones too, so yes, I would like KFC as well. So they eat and eat and eat, and they study and eat and study and eat, while Riza is losing weight, and some people like me is gaining like about 8 to 10 kg already. And some of them like Loy, I think 4 to 5 kg, and and in the end, yeah, it's like a hippo, where we cannot walk, and my knees and ankles are basically shouting out for help already. But don't underestimate this hippo. They are out of the water. They cannot walk, but once in their territory, they are pretty dangerous. Even the crocodiles cannot match him. And similarly, the nerdy guy, although they look nerdy, but when they are in OT, they look like this. Don't mess with them. Okay, they are a group of people, orthopedic surgeons. They are as strong as an ox. My saying is based on this study. BMJ 2011 December, orthopedic surgeons as strong as an ox and almost twice as clever. A multi-center prospective comparative study. Compared to who? Unfortunately, this study raised the love-hate relationships to another level between the orthopedic surgeons and the anesthetists, whereby they is a statistically significantly greater grip strength of 47 kg compared to their counterparts 43 kg, and their IQ is also significantly greater at 105, whereby anesthetists, they have 98. So the conclusion of the study is that don't mess with them. Stereotypical image of a male orthopedic surgeon as strong but stupid is unjustified in comparison with their male anesthetist counterparts. So the comedic repertoire of the average anesthetist needs to be revised in the light of this data. However, we would recommend caution in making fun of orthopedic surgeons, as unwary anesthetists may find themselves on the receiving end of sharp and quick-witted retort from their intellectually sharper friends, or may be greeted with a crushing handshake at their next encounter. So this is me trying out the hand grips 6 years ago when I was still an MO. Hopefully right now my hand grip strength has really improved much better. And these are my ex-bosses, Mr. Sharil, Mr. Saifu. And I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you to my parents, friends, family, and all the friends who fought along with me, spending our weekends together, studying, Saturday, Sunday, public holidays for the past 6 months, eating, studying, and eating, and gaining weight. And not to forget, my teachers, Confucius in the morning. He also writes paper, but he's among the greatest teacher of all time in the past. But we have a lot of great teachers leaving Confucius in the department, in this hall, many of them, I really have no words how to describe them. One moment they are operating, the next moment they are seeing patients, and then next moment they are writing papers, and wow, they are they are just so wow. I don't have words to describe them. So I really want to thank them. If not for them, I wouldn't be standing here. And I'd like to take this opportunity to take a bow to all my teachers, and thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Chang. So our next speaker, Dr. Nur Saidatul Nadria Ahmad Suaimin. So she's gonna talk on internet shopping in Malaysia.
Assalamualaikum and good afternoon, everyone. Okay, my name is Saidatul. I'm actually, I suppose I'm the thorn among the roses. I have no idea why this topic is given to me, but I think my adik-adik probably thinks that I like shopping a lot. So I have to say that my shopping activities have reduced significantly over the past 4 years. Maybe it will resume soon. So to start off with, I have a disclaimer. My husband does not own Zalora or Lazada, as somebody have rumored it. Especially for us who are busy, I think online shopping is quite handy. It has its advantages and disadvantages. So basically the advantages, you can do shopping 24/7 at night, 2 a.m. in the morning, and 365 days. So it's sources for all different kind of brands. So whatever you want, you can just click, and you can get it. And there's no traffic. You don't have to care about finding parking, paying the parking, and if it's raining, and if it's too hot, you can just go. So, and of course, you can get plenty of discounts online, and offers is all year round, not just certain seasons. However, it has its disadvantages. So for me, I don't really shop online, but I suppose when you shop, basically, you need to feel the material. You need to see and do your QC, belik-belik, got defect, you need to see all this. But I suppose if you're okay, you can go online. And otherwise, you have a possibility of being conned or scammed. Sometimes they say, oh, this is like this, but actually it's not. And of course, some people have some fear of giving out their financial credentials, their credit card details and things like that. And of course, it's dangerous for shopaholic. So, you can just click. For all you know, your credit card bills are, a full list long. And of course, you don't get immediate satisfaction because you have to wait for 5 working days or the next week to get your things. Whereas if you shop, real life, you can just, I can wear this tonight, straight away, and then you don't have to wait. So how do you do it? All you need are all this, your laptops, your gadgets, your phones, and Wi-Fi and 4G, and voila, you can shop. And the most important thing is you need money. So no money, you don't have to shop lah. So what you can do is, of course, you have your credit cards. You can either pay cash on delivery, and you can wire transfer, and you can just choose whatever you want. If you want clothes, you can go to Zalora or Lazada for your electricals. You can even look for houses on Mudah. So that's about it. Thank you. I'd like to invite my colleagues, my friends, to come down to the stage. Okay. 2 years ago, while I was doing my spine posting, during one of the UMSC, I assisted Prof. Kwan and Prof. Chris. They asked me a couple of questions. which I think finally Prof Kwan give up and asked me what's my favorite song. So I initially said it was John Legend, All of Me, but I think I changed it to Kau Ilhamku. So I made a secret promise to myself that if I pass this exam, I will pause my friends and sing this song with me.
For Aloy.
I akan pass mic ni, okay?
Beribu bintang di langit kini menghilang, meraba aku dalam kelam. Rembulan mengambang kini makin suram, pudar ilhamku tanpa arah. Sedetik wajahmu muncul dalam diam, ada kedipan, ada sinar. Itukah bintang ataupun rembulan? Terima kasih ku ucapkan. Izinkan ku mencuri bayangan wajahmu. Izinkan ku mencuri hayalan denganmu. Maafkanlah, oh, andai lagu ini mengganggu ruangan hidupmu. Kau senyumlah, oh, sekadar memori kita di arena ini. Kau ilhamku, kau ilhamku, kau izinkan ku mencuri bayangan wajahmu. Izinkan ku mencuri hayalan denganmu. Maafkanlah, oh, andai lagu ini mengganggu ruangan hidupmu. Kau senyumlah, oh, sekadar memori kita di arena ini. Kau ilhamku, izinkan ku mencuri bayangan wajahmu. Kau ilhamku, izinkan ku mencuri hayalan denganmu. Kau ilhamku, izinkan ku mencuri bayangan wajahmu.
Thank you very much. much all to all my professors, my lecturers, and everyone here.
Okay, now it's my solo dance performance.
So we still have one more graduate to give a speech. He's the last one for a reason. So let's us welcome Dr. Chung Wang Hong to the stage with his talk titled "Wise Sayings I've Heard in Ortho UM."
Good afternoon, everyone. To all my teachers, I would like to take the opportunity to thank all my teachers for all their great effort, time, and endless love to guide us through this exam. Okay, so my name is Chong, and my topic for today is wise sayings I have heard in Ortho UM. So the first moment when I got this topic, and I noticed that the time given is 5 minutes. And this reminds me of someone telling me that when the topic is given to you, you should be able to talk non-stop for 5 minutes. And I get very stressed. But a lot of times that doesn't happen in exam, and it's very difficult to talk non-stop for a topic for 5 minutes. But a lot of times we have no problem when we talk something else. Guys have no problem talking about cars. They can talk about the evolution of the cars from the first generation to the last generation. What is the horsepower like from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour? What is 5.8 seconds? Top speed is until what, you know? So we have no problems talking about that. What is the wheelbase? 4,658 millimeters or blah, blah, blah. And something else, in order to discuss about procedures, we always find a lot of difficulties in talking about procedures, how to do total hips, total knees, you know. But we don't have difficulties talking about football, who scored at the 89th minute, and who got the Golden Boot award or blah, blah, blah. And last but not least, ladies have no problems talking about handbags. And next thing, when I stepped my foot into UM, the first posting was spine posting. And this is what was taught to me, values, okay? And it's not the values that, moral virtues or what that we are talking about. It's an acronym for, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. It's an acronym for 6 very important things. Number 1, value your teachers, okay? If you value your teachers, then only you will listen to them and you can learn their kung fu. Number 2, answer the question. Do not answer rubbish. Don't beat around the bush. Number 3, listen carefully. When I ask you about A, don't answer about B. Unlimited questioning. Regardless of whether the question is lalang or not, still ask. Continue asking. And eliminate Cambridge without the D, because we might get sued by Cambridge. And seriously reflect what you have learned every night before you sleep. Okay, so reflection is considered as the higher learning of this thing. So teaching is a work of heart. And next is that another sayings that I've heard is that if you never try doing, you will never learn. So you should keep on learning. And this happened to all the Paralympians, our gold medalists. And this is not very famous, is one of the famous amputees who is also a model, Victoria Modesta. So after we have already tried learning and tried doing it, don't worry, okay, we can try, no problem. We just do our best. And next one is that someone told me, the eyes do not see what the mind does not know. So this means that we have to keep on studying and learning and reflecting. Then only our eyes can see. And next is that after learning all these things, we should reflect, because reflection is part of an adult learning. So the beautiful photo over here is one of the plays in Bolivia, if not mistaken. And this one saying is very important. Don't change the kung fu, because imitation is considered one of the easiest way to learn. So do not change the kung fu. Do not change kung fu by Bruce Lee or Yip Man. If not, they will come and beat your ass. And this, one of the sayings that I like the most. If I have seen further than others, it is by standing upon the shoulders of giants. And thank you very much for letting me standing upon the shoulders of all giants over here and make me see further than others. Thank you very much.
So Chung, you have to stay on the podium. Yeah. So you are the last speaker for a reason. So we have a final viva for you. Since you are the no lah. So I'd like to invite Prof. Azlina to the stage. So we have one announcement to make.
First and foremost, congratulations to all our new graduates. Excellent job. For those of us who are in USM with you, we were very happy to see how well you all performed. The best part, I guess, for me to announce tonight is, this afternoon, is that the top student among yourself is, as you know, Dr. Chung. You've done us proud, actually all of you, but, and a great job to Chung specifically for really topping the tables in UM. Thanks to all of you, our passing success rate in this exam is also the highest among all the universities. So once again, congratulations to all the lecturers, academic staff for helping support all our candidates. Here's to many more good times for everyone else. Thanks.
Okay. So we have a certification for his hard work for being the best student in UM. So we. Yeah. Okay. All right. Chung, you can stay. So we have photography session. So the rest of the graduates, can you please come down to the stage for photography session? Okay, wait, everyone stay where they are. So we invite our VIPs and alumni to come down for a picture as well. Yeah, Prof. Dr. Adiba, Dato Mahmud, American, Latin Rogaya, can you please come down and have a picture, Dato? Yeah, yeah. Okay, that is all, everyone. Thank you for coming to our Noceral Day this year. Until next time, thank you very much, everyone. We have lunch in front of Medicafe, yeah? So let us all go to the foyer in front of Medicafe for lunch.
My mama called, seen you on TV, said it all changed. Ever since we was on, I dreamed it all. Ever since I was young, they said I wouldn't be nothing. Now they always say congratulations. Work so hard, forgot how to vacation. They ain't never had the dedication. People hate and say we changed, and look, we made it. Yeah, we made it. There was never friendly. Yeah, now jumping out the Bentley, yeah. And I know I sound dramatic, yeah, but I know I had to have it, yeah. For the money, I'm a savage, yeah. I be itching like an addict, yeah. I'm surrounded 20 badness, yeah, but they didn't know me last year, yeah. Everyone wanna act like they important, but all that mean nothing when I saw my door, yeah. Everyone counting on me, drop the ball, yeah. Everything custom like I'm at the border, yeah, yeah. If you mess with winning, put your lighters to the sky. I put out links